to Skottie Talk with Tyler and Dustin. Gosh, it feels like it's been such a long time, Tyler. This
I
is.
know.
I've got the butterflies. I've got the jitters as we come back on here.
Time, yeah, just keeps kind of flying by.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. All
it's.
right. Good
I guess
gracious.
people missed us. I don't know. That's what we saw. I don't really know why.
Yeah, I didn't miss me. I was like, thank goodness there's not a show
Yeah,
tonight. We don't have to look at those
yeah.
two dorks.
It was kind of a nice breather. Things have just been feeling kind of crazy lately. They
I
only got
think
crazier at OAX, so I was like, oh man, it'll be
absolutely.
nice, like the week off weekend, and it was like, no, it was just as crazy. So,
Well, I felt
oh,
like the.
nice.
Oh, I
Got your
saw that,
dork
Kim.
shirt. Mine's
That's
on the
awesome.
way. So,
Very cool. Very cool. Well, with the Brett
yeah.
show on for their last show on February 11th, when Brett Bean came on, I kind of felt like that was our walk off. Like if we were going to
Yeah.
walk off and retire from a show, it was like, all right,
Mm.
we
Yeah, we
struck
should just
lightning
be like, yeah, we're
strike.
not having a show next week, and then it just like, yeah, that's it. Like,
Yeah,
there's just no more
yeah.
Scotty talk.
Leave
Megan
them
would
wanting
be
more.
really annoyed.
Yeah, if it
Like, we'd be
wasn't
like,
for
really?
Megan, if it wasn't
Like,
for Megan, we
yeah,
would
we'd have
call
to
it.
end on Megan's show to let her have like the last hurrah. So,
I was so excited about tonight. I ended up buying this comically large
oh my
figure of.
goodness,
I know it was 50 cents cheaper than the 20 ounce.
yeah,
So it's a
that's how they
1.25
get you.
liters. Yeah, yeah. I'm a cheap guy. Well, hello there, Mister
Speaking of
Seth.
cheap guys,
Yeah.
let's set the now.
Bing. There you go. Seth has arrived. Welcome to the show, Seth.
No, it's good to see everybody. Shane, Jerry,
All the
Ryan,
usual
Seth,
suspects.
everybody in the chat. We appreciate y'all joining us as usual, especially with the mix up. Not the mix up, just things got rearranged. It was going to be Megan's week this week. That got shifted around, and then OAX became this week, which honestly I think it kind of works out because the OAX is fresh in our minds. We can chat about it
Absolutely.
and show everybody, the artwork that we got, some of the pictures that were taken, and just the show itself. There was a lot. Yeah, it was yeah, welcome to Sky Talk with Tyler. I didn't have the
Uh,
presentation up.
no. I
Um
like it.
it was quite the show.
That's an understatement, I believe.
It
I
was what
believe.
I was expecting, but it's funny because like I always feel like I feel like I overestimate. I'm like, yeah, I know it's gonna be and it's gonna be busy, but it won't be near as bad as is MegaCon. Not that bad, but like, it was overwhelming, I guess would be the right
Right,
word to
right.
say there. But it was definitely just as overwhelming.
In a
This year
different
they
way. In a
had,
different way, I would say.
yeah, and definitely in a good way. I mean, all the
Right,
cons are
right,
always
right.
overwhelming in a good way. Yeah, it's just Seth talk. I don't think so.
Mm-mm. No, no. Who? Who?
But yeah, I mean, it was overwhelming in a good way. It's just, yeah, just there was just so much art, and that's what this is. It's the original Art Expo. But definitely, and the thing too is like looking back and at some of these pictures that I grabbed, and I got some from other people, which I'll call out. But there were rooms that I didn't even go into that I meant to, that I just didn't get around to doing, and that was even after adding on the extra day. Because
Oh
originally I
yeah.
was just gonna do one day like yourself, and I was like, you know what, I'll add the extra, and I'm super glad that I did. So
It was a wise move on your part because I think you got to take in more of the goodness that was, and I will say there was nary a Funko Pop in sight. I looked
no,
high
no,
and low for a Funko Pop, and there was no Funko Pop. So
nope, no prints either. I mean, like just straight art for sale, commissions going on, the sketch card stuff, just all about art, and then resellers,
it's
people
beautiful.
selling super crazy pieces to get to see in person. And I'll go ahead and forewarn everybody, I did not take like hardly any pictures. Like I was just fully in the moment kind of a deal. Like I took
Yeah.
some, but definitely going back, I was like, oh man, I totally forgot that I should have taken more pictures and stuff. Thankfully Dustin took a video, which we'll see
At the end
walking
of the
through the
at the end of
convention
the day,
itself.
yes,
Yeah, so you'll
I
get at
forgot.
least, and I like I said, I took some pictures of certain art, and then I grabbed some from other people. But like just to give you an overview, um, it was cool because again, it's at the DoubleTree, and you go in. We lined up. We got there. It opens at 9 is when pre-registration begins. So we got there early in the morning and waited. Got our badges, and they have these, the posters that they been showing leading up to the convention itself, which was cool because this was somebody else's photo, which I just realized I did not tag the person on this one. I apologize.
Sorry.
Um, but they signed, all these artists and stuff signed these, which was super cool to see after the fact because they weren't filled up beforehand. But
But they also had attendees sign them as well. So there was some of them
oh,
were
it's okay. Was it
yeah,
was
there's a
attendees? All right,
Sharpie,
cool.
yeah, Sharpie asking because it was kind of a mixture, I think, because they had a Sharpie there as you picked up your VIP badge or your Saturday badge or your weekend badge, and they asked if you wanted to sign it, and I declined to just because I thought my signature looks like chicken scratch, but and
Nobody, I didn't get asked, but I definitely would have signed it if it asked. I love signing stuff.
that's
And then
that's a good attribute.
this was the badge that I had. So I got the weekend badge. And again, each of the badges had different art. So there was, the 1 day badges, the weekend badge, and the VIP. Dustin can probably find his if he can find it.
Yeah, I don't.
I accidentally
Yeah,
left mine in the car, and then all the
shoot.
sponsors on the back, and then you could download the program and stuff with the QR codes, which was nice. But this was your ticket in. You had to have this. Security would not let you pass if you didn't have yours. And then I just wanted to show off as well just a few of these. So this was part of the goodie bag. So you got this really cool bag with OAX all over it, and just handfuls of stuff.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
have
just
no idea where it's
the
at.
program itself. Also got some like advertisements. One of the ones that I was super excited to see was Fourth Father from Matteo Scalera. So finally get to see some of the stuff that's going to be in that Kickstarter, which I'm super looking forward to. But yeah, and oh, one of my favorites that I loved getting was for the auction because everybody was part of it. They gave everybody paddles with their bid number on it. So this was super cool to get to hold up during the auction itself if you were interested in joining that. And then, like I said, sorry that the posters I was showing off. So yeah, they got these dope 11x17 prints of the artwork that was featured for OAX. I think they have like four, or oh my goodness, so they had like 6 total or something.
Yeah, I think it was 6.
My favorite was, and I have it. Actually, I have it. Sorry, you think I would have prepared for the show, but
No. We're rusty.
so this is my binder that I brought to the convention. Which, funny enough, I didn't tell you this. I totally forgot. So Matt Sardo, I went to Miller Saturday night, and I can get into that once we get further into the show. But I was with Matt Sardo, and I opened this to show artwork or something, and Matt was like, "Did you print this off yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Can I go show this to my boss?" Which his boss is Kazran, and he was over, one of the people who comic art, comic art fans, and who host, the show itself, Original Art Expo. And Matt took it over to him, and then like they looked at me and I just like waved. But I guess like they thought it was really cool that I printed it off. But I always do this. I started doing this at MegaCon because it's just so much easier to see, all the info and everything. So much easier to just have it printed and inside the portfolio. But the Chrissy Zulo, Chris and Chrissy Uminga, I got them to sign their prints. That's why this one was separate because I brought it to the convention and got it signed. So yeah, tons of fun stuff immediately when you walk in and got to grab stuff. There we go,
Dude,
Dustin. Yeah, Dustin's got his.
now everything was really intuitive. I mean, just for an art collector, because not only was this a great bag, it also was the perfect size to put a portfolio in and hold the
Yeah,
handle up there. So I was kind of worried about having to plug around a 13 by 19 art portfolio. Yeah, thanks for all day. And then whenever they gave you the gift, I mean, everybody got one. Yeah, I just had a Saturday
yeah,
badge, and I still got the bag with all the prints, and the art portfolio slid in there perfectly with room to go like around your wrist for the
yeah.
strap. So they really thought this out very well whenever they came up with everything, and of course the back panel. This is
I know that was
the
so
best thing.
fun to see, and it was fun to use. That's definitely gonna like, obviously it'll all stay in my collection, but that's gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, that's super cool and remind me of that first. Because I wonder what they did with previous years. Again, this is their third year
Oh, that's a good
doing
question.
it. So, it's gotten bigger. I heard there were supposedly upwards of 1,000 people attending this week in total, I think. Um,
That makes
and
sense.
I
That's
think this year, too, was the first time they had 2 rooms all together. I think last year they still were in one room,
oh wow.
whereas this
I
year they
didn't hear
had
that.
the 2 rooms together. I could be wrong. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dragging around a portfolio is a standard problem. Yeah, not having things get wrinkled. That's a big thing too. It's funny because the bag that I bought, which is the one that Skottie uses, the nomadic bag, was what I went with after deciding for quite a while. And then the bag that I didn't end up going with, my wife ended up going with for her backpacking, needs and travel needs. And funny enough, it was the pack that I saw at least like 12 to 15 people had this entire weekend. Like
I had to hear it all
everybody
week. I
had
had to
this
hear it all
bag. And
weekend. All
yeah, and
weekend. Tyler
I
just
know,
kept saying
yeah.
it. You'd shout it out
Well, like
across.
there it is. There's the bag. That's the bag
Yeah,
that I had.
it's great.
And it makes sense because it fits an 11 by 17. My backpack just doesn't fit it. It can't zip up all the way. But this one, and of course, I'm blanking on the brand name.
Oh my gosh, you said it like 50 times too.
I know,
It
yeah. I'm
begins
like,
with a K. Am I?
yeah. No, I was like, yeah.
I
I was
should
like,
remember it. Oh, it ends with a vowel. It sounds very Swedish.
ends with a vowel and sounds very Swedish. I like
That's
that.
what I got. You think Dragotta would sign this if we took this to a con?
Yeah, he'd be like, "What is this? Where did you get this?" I'm like, "Oh, I got it. Blah blah blah."
Yeah, come to OEX
Um,
next year.
what's that pack? Man, goodness, I'm like blanking. Anyways, I'll think of the bag name, but my wife thought it was hilarious because I was like, "Hey, everybody has your bag, the one I should have gone with." I did see one or two people with the Jim Lee art bag that I debated. The one that does come with the built-in 11 by 17 portfolio and holder, because Jim himself made it with, I can't remember again the brand with that one either, but now when they stopped selling, I should have picked it up when I had the chance.
Yeah, it was a nice looking one. You pointed that one out, and I saw it. And
Yeah.
I said, "Oh yeah," and it was two different guys. You'd pointed it out, so I saw a Jim Lee
Yeah.
bag, and then like a different guy had one like right beside it, and so it looked like a really nice bag. Yeah, I don't think those are not the bags we were looking for. Swami, Swanson, or Swampsonite.
It was like a P or goodness. It's like I said, it's
I'll
gonna like
never-
bug the heck out of me. But I'll think about it as we're talking. Probably it'll hit me.
It'll come from nowhere too. It'll be like just an outburst. But now I did not see this in person. I did not see this in person. Did you?
Yeah,
see this?
it was funny because we saw it.
Past it.
I thought I pointed out in the window.
No,
It was right through the window when we were in line waiting outside the hotel itself. Yeah, this was super cool. This sculpture. Again, I apologize. I thought I had everybody's name. I'm wondering if I did, and again, the way this downloads.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna blame it on.
No, never mind. Okay, no, I didn't. Topo, yes, thank you. Topo Designs bag.
Oh, I was googling it. I was trying to find the name too. So
yeah, Kazra is watching. That is Kazra who just commented as well.
We're sorry.
I know.
This is a crap show.
Greatly appreciate the help there. Tons of people had that bag. Such a great
yeah,
it's one that I was worried it would be too big, but seeing everybody else walking around with it makes perfect sense. I'm like, yeah, I definitely will be borrowing my wife's bag for future shows as well. So thank you for joining. Greatly appreciate you watching. And I guess like while you're here too, I mean, we'll say it throughout the show, but thank you for hosting such an incredible show itself. It was super fun getting to attend our first OAX together. I debated last year and I kind of held off with everything, but yeah, we'll definitely be making that a yearly trip, especially living here in the area. So yeah, Topo they're just nice bags. My work gets a lot of Topo stuff they give us. And they're just super resourceful. Like I said, the fact that it fits at 11 by 17 without, bending it or not having to zip up and stuff is super nice.
I think if we say Topo 5 more times, we get a sponsorship. So we're going to try to say.
I was actually going to say the opposite. Like we get struck down if we say more than 5 times.
Yeah, we have to start paying them a commission fee. Okay.
Oh, it can even fit the 13 by 19. Wow, I don't know which one that's crazy because it might be the same one that my wife has, the larger one.
Yeah, that would almost look like a rocket.
That's super nice if it's the 13 by 19 too, because that's the stuff that I worry about. This convention, I didn't need it. But I would definitely need it for a future one for certain pieces like at Heroes and stuff. Thank you, Shane, for joining. I was going to say I pulled it up too. Appreciate you as always joining in, and yeah, you can catch the show afterwards. But 40 liters, I think that's the one that she maybe has.
That's a good.
Appreciate that info, Carl. So this one was mine. This was one that one of the few that I took when I got, and I was like, all right, I need a picture of the convention itself. Because again, it's just such a wide room, just packed with, tables and artwork and artists and stuff and everything. So this was me before I got overwhelmed. Felix's booth is up there in the front.
That's right where you walked in, and Essential Sequential is right beside there.
Yep. Yeah, they're off to the left. Yeah.
Can we tell a quick story about Seth? Like how Seth just kind of wanders aimlessly
Oh,
through life. About how
yes.
that was
Yeah.
such a great story
So
for.
again, the main thing. So I didn't have a goal going in. I had my commissions I was going to pick up, but there wasn't anybody I was getting artwork done for there. That wasn't the case for Dustin and Seth, who were really hoping to get on David
No.
Finch's list. And thank goodness, how's it going, Keith?
Hey Keith, what's
Thank
up,
goodness
bud?
Seth was there to speed walk over to his table to get in line, because it was like the first
Yes.
9 people that
Yeah.
day.
6 30-minute sketches
Yeah,
and 3 15-minute sketches,
yeah.
and they were time slotted. But how did he know what table to go to with such speed?
I
Other
mean,
than
he
the
just
map.
had it. Yeah, he
Other
had it.
than
I
the
was gonna
map.
say he had the map. Yeah, because I know he did the
No,
same
no,
thing. He
no.
printed it out and had his marked down and everything, like I
There
did.
was there
So
was more to it. There was more to it.
yeah.
Seth had accidentally wandered into the hall about an hour before
Oh
the
god,
show opened
I forgot. Yeah,
because the security guard waved him in. Of course he did. And Seth didn't realize
it
that
was.
wasn't the spot to wait in.
Yeah, it
So
was through the hotel, because like he went through the hotel itself and was just like, "Hey, I'm looking for the show floor," and like they just let him in. He's like, "Oh," and then it was like, "Hey, you're not actually supposed to be in now. You have to wait."
and we all know Seth. I mean, if
Yeah.
Seth walks up to a
Yeah.
door, is he
I
somebody
like
you're
how,
going to
yeah,
wave in?
you're just
You're
like
like,
full blasting him. Seth's like, shh, don't,
no,
yeah,
it wasn't
I
on
need
purpose. I
you.
mean, Seth was trying to find the way to get in. It was all of our first days
Yeah,
going. We didn't attend preview night on Friday night, unfortunately. But Seth was he just and the guy was like, "Come on this way." So Seth was just trying to find the line to actually get into the show, and he
yeah.
just wandered onto the floor. And he's like, "I walked right by and I saw Finch's booth, so I know exactly where to go to." And then he got kicked out. I think he got removed from the
He
show.
did, yeah. He got put in the right place with the line, with waiting with
Yeah,
everybody else. So
but it was
it
not
all worked
malicious.
out.
He wasn't
Yeah,
trying
it
to
all
sneak
worked out
in.
in the
No, no,
end.
no. I'll
Yeah,
say that.
exactly.
So,
Walk like you know where you're going. You're fine. I just can't break rules. Like if I know, I'm like, no, I can't be. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm in.
the way I picture it, do you remember in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, whenever they're saying, with any luck, Brody's already got this in his hand, and then it
Yeah,
cuts to him kind of wandering aimlessly through a crowd of people? That's what I picture Seth was going through at the
yeah.
on the convention floor. He wasn't actually trying to do anything.
No,
He
no, it
was
was
just
just
trying to
yeah, it
get
was
to a
just
place.
kind of
So,
there happenstance exactly. Yeah,
oh,
so
really?
I'm gonna
Played me.
play. Yeah, we're already because I had it at the beginning. I wanted to have it.
Oh yeah, here we go.
And I'm gonna turn down the audio, because the audio there isn't really much. It's just kind of
I
people
th-
talking, but I'll
and
still
me
have
and
it.
me breathing hard. Probably we don't want to hear that. Nobody wants
No,
to
no,
hear
no,
that.
no. So uh, this was just again Dustin walking around the showroom floor. I think you started on the right hand side, if I'm not mistaken,
That's
watching this
correct.
video. Um,
And I did not get to go to the card section on the art section, the kind of the more finer art card section, other convention rooms. So I
yeah,
apologize. I meant to do that as well, but I just
like I
want
said,
everybody to
yeah,
get the feel for it.
there was so much, and I thought that I would get to more than I did, but
Yeah, it's Bart
yeah, I mean,
Sears.
there's just so many booths to just stop and look at. There's
I
Jamie
said
Jones, good buddy Jamie
that
Jones.
beautiful man, Jamie Jones, right
Yeah,
there.
like how you can like kind of tell like you did like a little stop, a little freeze frame there.
Yeah. Adam
Um,
Kubert, yeah, his
yeah,
table. And I don't have my glasses on, but I'm hoping these are it's like a little smaller here. You get to the Amanda Connor table here with
yeah.
Jr. was right in between
I was
her
to say,
and
gotta get
and
Adam Hughes
Jimmy's.
in there,
Oh
Chris
yeah,
and Chrissy.
I do my heart for
I know, yeah. You
Dave.
get like the look back, like,
Yeah,
oh, there's Adam.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, this is like back toward the back of that room. Oof,
No,
it's like
that's okay.
lagging a
That's
bit.
okay. It can do it. There's a Ranga, his booth coming. I remember
Yep.
where it's at. If you don't see him, you will see him eventually. And then of course we're about to see Artist Bullpen
Bullpen. Yeah,
with
and
future
Jared Cullum.
guest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, future and returning. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
we'll
yeah. Zach. I was
have
referring to
them
Zach.
back
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, my feet hurt just watching this video. It really was the perfect time of watching. But look at yeah, I didn't mean to get that guy with his hand back there. I'm sorry.
Passing Felix. There's Mateo. He was at his table
Yeah,
sketching.
that's essential. You
Sean
see
next to
Finch
him, and then
over there,
yeah,
and there's a
Jim the Food. Yeah, there's me
John
talking up Jim
Wayshak.
the Food,
Oh
getting
no,
my
yeah, I was looking at Wayshack past you. I'd kind of
no,
already
yeah,
looked
yeah,
past you there,
me
so
talking with Jim the Food, and then yeah, Wayshack there.
I was trying not to embarrass you too much from that.
No,
But
I know. Yeah, I thought it was
yeah,
funny when I
yeah,
watched the video and you had me in there. So
No, Tyler's so good at talking with the artists that he makes it look so effortlessly that I'm really envious of that.
There's Maxie there. I just talk too much. That's the unfortunate thing is I just talk a lot.
Yeah, I tried to get a cut back of Maxie. Maxie's gonna be on the show. He's our next guest after Megan, so we're really looking forward to him.
Super nice. Me. Funny enough, he recognized our faces when we walked by his booth. He was like, look, and we're like, don't
Yes.
pretend like you know who we are. Like you don't
Yeah,
know
we're
us.
nobodies. We're nobodies.
But
This is some of the 75 Superman issue 75 art. You can't
yeah,
see it from that image, but it was there just to see how close. I just want everybody to see how close in proximity
like you
we
could
were.
get. Yeah, there's David. Yeah, doing his magic.
Such a sweet man, David Finch.
He was super nice.
And this is a Scotty Young Appreciation Group members sketch that he was working on. It was a Wolverine
Oh yeah.
that we got to meet.
Yeah, Maxie is super nice, super good person.
And I'm wondering if this
Um,
is the same Carl that we met at the show. I can't see the image there. If it is, Carl, it was good to meet you there. Unfortunately, it was towards the end of the show
yeah,
that we were right before the auction took started in the award show, but it was very nice to meet you as well.
yeah. No, it was funny because there was a few people we met who either kind of knew Scotty talk a little bit or mostly knew you from your art collecting and what you post and stuff. So it was funny, yeah, getting that comment. We got that from like because I talked with Jamie, who was here. There it is. Yeah, it is for sure. Yeah, yeah. Very
Awesome.
nice to see you
Very nice to
on.
meet you. Very nice.
Yeah, it was just fun chatting with people. I mean, again, that's the fun thing about these conventions is that again, everybody there is there because of their love and passion for comics and comic art. And there was just such of a wide variety of people there. My favorite of which I talked to on Sunday, I forgot, I don't think I told you this story, but I was in line for Maxie for the free sketch stuff and talking with a gentleman, whose name I don't remember, unfortunately. Incredibly nice. Ended up chatting and found out that he's worked in animation and in that field, and I'm also interested in that field. My wife, is an animator. She loves animation. I love animation, and so Carl is great. Turns out he'd worked because I don't know why I posed the question like this. I said, "Have you worked on anything that I would know?" And I guess I did it because I don't know. I just
Yeah.
phrased it that way. I
Yeah,
was like, I
yeah.
don't
I
know
know
why I
what you
phrased it
mean,
that
but
way.
yeah.
It
I
was
would
meant
have
to
did
be
the
like a
same
nice,
thing.
hey, you can tell me what you worked on rather than me assuming. And it was like, oh, you could say that, and started listing
Yeah.
off like Shrek 2, Over the Hedge. I might have been, yeah, Joe Wass. I like I said, I feel terrible because it's like Sunday was a blur after Saturday night.
No doubt.
Um, and then he started listing off, oh my goodness, Prince of Egypt and Road El Dorado. And I was like, man, you were just naming my childhood and just crazy that you're just listing off all this stuff. And then he went, to mention that he'd worked on Guerrilla Games on the Horizon Dawn series, which is one of my favorite video game series. So that was, yeah, again, just conversations that would just pop up naturally were just such a blast.
Yeah,
Um,
I was unable to attend Sunday, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But it was so cool to hear from Tyler and Seth. Both of those guys were able to attend, and just the messages that just kept coming in. And I would recommend if you go to the show next year or make plans to go, try to make it a full weekend and
yeah,
enjoy the art show, the auction show, enjoy the award show. Hopefully they'll do that
yeah.
again next year. That was a lot of fun. I wasn't sure what to expect, and we'll get into that a little bit later. I wasn't sure what to expect for that, but it was a lot of fun. It was
Yeah.
to sit there for
No,
that.
it was an absolute blast. And yeah, we've got like a whole section of like photos
I
and the
know that's why I
award
don't
and
want to get
everything.
into it too much,
'Cause it's
but
just, yeah, it was such an awesome experience. And like you said, you know, I ended up getting a day, then I made it a weekend. You got a day. I'm definitely
yeah.
thinking about VIP next year.
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, I don't think VIP will be kind of necessary. I'm like, oh, VIP is definitely necessary. There's just so much going on. And again, it's just, cool the 2-hour preview and then getting to talk and, chat with people, excuse me, after the fact, which just sounds like, again, like such a blast. So, um,
There's
so some of these photos I grabbed are funny enough from OAX sent out an email and was like, hey, if you took any photos or would like to
oh
give your
cool,
photos
cool.
up for promotional purposes and stuff, you can do that. So I submitted the stuff that I took pictures of, just art that I had with artists and stuff. So the ones that I saw there, I was like, oh, that'll be really cool because they took much better photos. But I wanted to make sure to tag them again, not that they know that our show exists, but I just wanted to make sure that names are out there. So
So was this the famous Friday night no bow tie, Jamie? I can't.
This might have, yeah, Jamie. I don't really, I don't really, because I don't want to like throw him. Because
No,
again,
gosh,
like,
yeah, I shouldn't.
your first show and stuff. Yeah, he didn't have his bow tie, so he felt frazzled. I love it because he said he was just in his linens, is what the
I,
phrase he used, which just made me chuckle a lot. And I thought was funny. So yeah, this was him. This was him getting prepared and ready and everything. Um, Chris and
Chris and
Chrissy,
Chrissy,
one of the first stables we went
dynamic
to.
duo.
Yeah, and funny enough, I bought Chris's Haunted Mansion print in Epcot because I live here,
Oh, yeah.
so Art Festival is one of the things I go to. So yeah, I got this for Dustin, and I brought it to him so he
Oh,
could get
yeah.
it signed. I joked I was like I would get it signed, but I was like I didn't want to take that away from Dustin to get his own print signed. So
And I was good either way because I just wanted the print is such an incredible. He did, and
yeah,
all the ones he does for the art show down there at Epcot is
yeah.
just amazing. So
No, they were, and it was fun, hearing Chrissy talk about like, hopefully she was trying to get more work done, but being at Disney, Disney's just a
yeah,
lot. You're at
yeah.
Disney. So they were playing Lorcana and doing fun stuff like that. Um, Again, it
Oh,
just the people, that you see in the photos. It's just super cool to see artists, but then also especially more so the artist with either fans. I believe this guy right here, and I didn't get his name on the left, actually had his portfolio and was getting like reviews and stuff. Because I know I overheard Jamie talking about how he had looked at his art, and that was something I wasn't prepared for as much. Not that
yeah.
like I didn't think it would be allowed, but I just didn't know how big it would be seeing younger artists bring their yeah, there's a topo bag. Thank you, Jerry.
Bing, bing,
Bring
bing.
their artwork and get their portfolio looked at and stuff, which I think is really cool, especially when you've got people like Ink Pulp who, Sean hosts classes. They have their own classes to help
Yes.
upcoming artists. They're big proponents about, teaching. He put out his own art book on Kickstarter about, keeping craft alive. And I think that applies to the whole convention of keeping craft alive. It definitely feels like that's, the cornerstone, the pillar of this show is just, again, keeping all this stuff as current as we can with as many people as we can. So,
Oh,
um,
so
this so
this is your picture, isn't it?
yeah, these
Okay.
are my pictures. So this stuff just kind of blew my mind because one of the things I was most excited about was not only was it a comic convention, but they had different sections for game art development. Again, that's what my field and what I'm a part of, as well as animation and stuff like that, or trading cards. I love how many areas they hit. So yeah, it was just crazy to see
Right on.
actual Princess Mononoke art and Kiki's Delivery Service art, like the cells on their background paintings and stuff. I mean, there's Peter Pan and Alice down there in the bottom right. And this is this is Heritage Auction. So again, they get big pieces and auction them off. So I went through their binder of like previous works they had, but these are the examples they actually had on display. Again, just art at like Disney animation. Again, seeing these pencil drawings is just attending Ringling, we got to animate on the actual art desk that they utilized at Disney. And so to see these pieces that came from that was just really cool. That history there, and that was such a big part of the show too, was the history of a lot of this stuff. Again, the comics just as much, but again, just to see this stuff as well, because it's just something I don't really see a lot in person. So again, original cells from Dragon Ball Z. Again, it's just I love it for that process, seeing how far the background extends, seeing the plastic on top, the cell that was painted. Again, just traditional drawings. Little Mermaid, Cinderella. I'm pretty sure one of these was Glenn Keane, like if I'm not mistaken. Big animator.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, just tons of awesome art. Pokemon, I love Pokemon.
Who
Funny enough,
doesn't?
my wife is rewatching like the original show, so again, just to see that like painted background and to see the cell on top of it, um, again, it just shows how much work goes into each and every single one of these, um, which is just really cool to see. Mainly, I took the Dragon Ball Z because my friend's a really big Dragon Ball Z fan, which I just really I still haven't sent him the photos. Like again, it's like feels like it's like
Oh
two
well.
months ago, and I was like, no, it's just last
Yeah.
weekend. Um, yeah, tons of super cool art. So again, these were again photos from Brian and Donna. This room I totally meant to go into and just didn't.
Yeah.
So seeing the stuff like some of these that look like, original manga pages were just really awesome to see. And again, it's kind of hard to see, some of this stuff from. I could have zoomed in on this one a little bit more, but again, just the history of all these different fields. But again, just promoting and showing off the artwork and everything was just really awesome. So
So this is really why you need 3 days to go, because we walked by the door. It was kind of like in between. You could walk by it, and I saw down and there was tons of art for you to kind of just take your time and absorb it in. And I kept thinking, all right, I'm gonna wait till I grab Seth or Tyler, and we can go in there and kind of
yeah,
discuss it together. And that just never happened. So, uh, yeah, plan accordingly. Make sure you hit up all these things, because it's not just for purchasing the art, which we were able to do really quickly and kind of get that. And then it was the fun part was then just become a spectator and start seeing all the art there,
yeah,
and stuff that you're not planning on ever owning, but you just want to be able to appreciate it in person. And I feel like I've lost out a little bit part of the weekend by not going into this room and checking out some of this
yeah.
stuff.
Well, no, like you said, and it's like you were saying too. I mean, like seeing those Superman pages, seeing again heritage auctions. I like you said, I'd never be able to afford, but just
Yeah.
appreciating it. And I think that's what's great about this show is that I know at least personally, like I'll sometimes find that like I feel bad if I go up to a table because I'm like, if I'm not intending on purchasing anything, I don't want to waste their time in a
Oh,
sense. I guess is kind of how my mind goes through it. But I don't think there was any of that at the show. That's still just, self-imposed kind of like, oh, I don't want to take up, because again, the nice thing about this show too was just seeing again artists take the time to talk and chat with people because again the emphasis is on pre-show commissions so that
right.
hopefully when they get to the show they have a little bit more time to chat with people. Again, they can still take on commissions if they want to, or like what David did, Finch, where he takes on a select number of people and does it that way. But they're all super generous with their time in conversations. I mean, again, just you getting your piece that you got from Finch. Like I suddenly found myself talking with them about art and game art
Yeah.
and all.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh,
Sparked up.
it's just again, you never think that that's going to happen, kind of a deal. So just really fun to be a part of.
And,
Um,
and and Dave even talked about during that time was like he wanted to get up and kind of look at some of the art, and he tries to get a piece from every show. And you we found that while talking to the artist, and we won't name names, but a lot of artists that we talked to were talking about just how successful the show this was for them, because
yeah,
the emphasis was so much on the art, and the fact that all the team over there at OAX that put this on, there's a long list of people that they gave credit for, and kudos to all of them, because the pre-show commissions that got all these artists booked even before they came into the show, there was already revenue generated for them.
yeah,
And the shows that they did on CAF Live were incredible to get these commission spots open for people to go ahead and claim, and the site they had open. So the artists really were able to go there. A lot of them had the commissions done, ready to go. The ones that didn't were able to work on them during the show, and people could actually see their pieces being worked on live without the pressure of like, am I going to get a piece? Because you're kind of already locked in for the piece. It's just
yeah,
going and picking up. And then after you get all those pieces picked up, it's just getting to enjoy the show. And a lot of the artists, I guess once they got their commission list done, they got to enjoy the show. Uh, good gosh. Yeah. Okay. Let me say something about this real quick. The thing that I'm kicking myself for is apparently I forgot I owned a camera till 3:30 on Saturday, because I did not take pictures of anybody. I think whenever Felix asked me if I wanted to take a picture with Clay Mann, I was like,
yeah,
"Oh yeah, I got a camera. Yeah, I got a camera." Like I'd completely forgot I had a
yeah.
camera, because me and
Well,
Seth and
and
Tyler did
I was
not
gonna
get a
say, like
picture
Seth
together.
mentioned, yeah, like we forgot to get a photo of the three of us because we posted on story. Seth posted, OAX day one with Tyler and Dustin, and you and I reposted it, and then yeah, we just completely forgot to get a photo with the three of us together.
It was embarrassing.
Thankfully, that didn't happen here with Matt Sardo and Jamie Jones.
He's the VIP
Uh,
of the situation. I mean,
yeah,
Matt
we
came in and
were.
it's like, let's get a picture. And I was like, oh crap, that's a great
I
idea.
know, yeah, we were lucky
I
enough that
did.
like he said something because I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's like fun to look back on this.
Yeah, look at those white
After the
legs,
fact.
man.
So
Those legs are white as all get out.
yeah,
Those are those
you
are
wouldn't think
Kentucky
that I
winter
live
legs.
in
Come on,
Florida
yeah,
by
come on. What's your
looking at me.
excuse?
But I don't go outside, so
No, I wouldn't. Yeah.
okay, I really love that he said this. And it
Okay, that's
honestly
a
it
good
is
point.
true. Like
Very
forgetting you
fair.
have a camera is just about the nicest thing anyone could say about the show. I mean, it really is true. I'm such a person where, like I like being in the moment. Like I don't again, it's so easy to get lost in technology and recording for, looking back on
Yeah.
purposes and stuff. And we discussed beforehand, we knew we were going to do this show and wanted to have photos to show off. Um, but it's just, yeah, you just go in and it's like, and honestly, because I'm not saying it's just because you're here, but it honestly felt like when I walked into Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con for the first time,
Oh
because that
wow,
show was
that's
massive. Like,
yeah, that's a good.
and granted, I was like a kid in high school. It was like for like senior in high school, like going in, it was like, oh my gosh, like this is the thing everybody talks about. Like this is massive. Like where do you even begin? Like there's just booths and celebrities and all this kind of crazy stuff going, and I got that same feeling with this one, but more so again from the fact that it was just like just like the energy about it. Like again, just the art on the wall and the artist already talking and stuff. Like it just and it was nice because it was so
So
open.
cool.
And as we kind of saw with the video, like it's not packed like MegaCon and stuff. Like you can kind of take your time and go, oh, like I can kind of walk around and like freely, look at stuff. I don't have to, worry about getting in a line for 5 hours or, kind of doing this. So yeah, I felt like I was jumping from one conversation to the next. That's exactly how I felt.
Well, it was also
And
too kind of a who's who. If you're a member of the of comic art fans, or a member of the Sketch Price group, or any of the other original art groups that are on Facebook, it's like a who's who of people that you've seen posting stuff for years, maybe even decades, and all of a sudden you're like, all right, there they are in person. And there was one guy in particular, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was the guy that collects the Savage Land Cyclops, and
yes,
Seth.
I'm blanking. Yeah,
Yeah, I wish I had his name in front of me because
it was like
he had some.
yeah, it was like Savage Land face off with Seth in a way.
Yeah, yeah, because Seth loves Cyclops, and he was excited to meet this guy, and it was like
Yeah.
it was a perfect opportunity to be able to go face to face with people like Carl. Carl is the first time I got to meet him. I've chatted with him online for a long time. I actually bought a Skottie piece from Carl. So
Mm,
yeah, last year,
yeah.
it was just good to finally put faces and voices to people that you chatted with and appreciated from a distance. That is not true. That is not true. I'd like two or three people,
Yeah.
and they were
I mean,
like,
it was funny, like Dustin getting recognized, like, oh, you're Dustin. Like, people knowing who he is, or
yeah, and I keep on
like I
wanting to
said, I
correct
mean,
them.
again, we're such a small show, but like Scotty talk, like, oh, I've heard of that, it's interesting because again, it's and again, and that was my other thing with the show too, and kind of why I held off last year. But I'm glad I went this year. Was like I'm a younger
Me too.
collector, so it's like again, I don't have the years that some of these collectors do, and the knowledge, and like
Doesn't matter. Does not
but
matter.
no, and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it
No, no,
doesn't.
no.
Again, that was
No, you're
just me
good.
kind of stopping myself because again,
Right.
I just didn't know outside looking in. Um, but again, I never got any of that, from the show. It was just like, oh, like, what did you get? People would ask me what pieces I got, or like, oh, that's awesome. Like, all right, well, I got this, and like just having a discussion based off that, or like, even if there were artists who are big names who I just didn't really know, or I'm not as familiar with. Because there's just a lot of artists, and I'm also just a picky person, or I have been. So like, I'm trying to find myself, you know, not necessarily having to branch out, but just like, man, if I narrow my scope too much, I kind of miss out on so many other people in a way. But no, I mean the show felt great. Like you said, there wasn't anything like that you get from it, and that was a great thing too. Because I think they've even put an emphasis on the show beforehand of like, kids coming and kids getting sketches and stuff. Like again, that's the whole
Yeah.
point is to
Next
get
generation up there.
yeah, the next, like, just get everyone involved, whether you've been here for 40, 50 years, or whether new to collecting, or you read comics when you were younger and then you stopped and you came back. And they definitely, succeeded at doing that by having their setup and having, just the artists that they have, and the conversations around those artists. So yeah,
You remember what made me want to go this year?
Hughes.
Yeah, Hughes. Hughes. When Adam was coming back,
Hugh?
yeah, Hughes.
Yeah, I'm just
And
gonna.
then
Yeah,
it was like you wined and dined me with Adam, and then you sealed the deal with Terry Dotson. That was the two that I was like, once I saw those two guys were on there, and I knew that you and Seth were going to go. Seth wasn't sure because he's got a bunch of other cons lined up. But whenever you two both said you were coming, I was like, all right, this is going to be a weekend to
yeah.
remember.
No, and I mean, and the great thing too was that like most of the art that I picked up was from people I've never gotten a piece from before. So,
Well,
it was
that's a good
people that I've only really gotten into as of late. I'm like, oh man, I've liked your work for a while, and I just never really kind of realized it or made that connection. Or somebody new, like Maxie, who like started reading, Lost Fantasy, and then it's like, oh man, and you kind of make those connections. You're like, man, I would love to get, a piece from you. So like I said, there was only like one piece that I got that was from Jamie, you know, I've gotten stuff from
Yeah.
before, but the other artists were new for me, which was
Oh, that's
really
cool.
fun,
Yeah, kind
especially
of
to see the
expand,
pieces. So
diversify. Yeah, diversify the art
yeah, no,
collection.
it's
So
yeah, it's a slippery slope though, because I'm like, man, I
got
want
to go
so
on.
like OAX next year. I'm already like, man, I can't wait to get more art from
Yeah,
more
that.
awesome people.
How many people did you see as you walked through the booth that you're like, oh man, I wish next year I'm getting a piece from them? I mean, there
Oh,
was way too
100%.
many,
Like,
way too
or
many.
even like the same people where I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
that's it.
I ended up getting another, because I ended up getting another commission from Maxi at the end. I was like, you know
Okay,
what?
I was confused. I didn't know if you got one or you were planning on getting
Yeah.
one eventually,
No,
but you
yeah, I
did.
got one, and then I asked for another one after these that he'll do after the show because he was too busy that weekend, so he'll do it after the fact. But I was just like, man, I got to have another piece from you, which I'll talk about when I get to my pickups because like it ties in with one of the things I got. But
Oh, he was such a
um,
soft-spoken, humble guy too. I mean, I'm really looking forward to having
yeah.
Maxie on the show. I really appreciated him in person.
Yeah, no, he was great. And so were his representatives, Kathy and Mark. I ended up talking with Kathy
Oh,
a lot
cool. You
because
got their names. That's good.
she, yeah, because she ended like we started on anime and like what anime that we like and stuff. And then Mark was, you know, talking to me, you know, One Piece and everything that like, you know, we've watched and stuff. And they were yeah, they were super nice
That's awesome. They seemed
to chat with.
whenever they were
So
doing the pictures, and that was another one that reminded me to take pictures because they asked if
mm,
yeah they could take a picture of us with him in the art,
yeah.
and then I was like, oh, I've got a phone in my pocket here,
Yeah.
and she was
I'm
kind
so
enough to
bad
do that.
about that. Like, because I still felt bad about two of the people I didn't get a photo with. And it's just like,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
feel
raunchy.
awkward, but I'm just like, I'll just kind of forget to ask. And I'm like, man, I should have asked for that. Cause I love that more so than just having the art itself, like having the art with the artist. And like, and it's
Yeah,
also cool for them. Cause like with Maxi, like you said, they did that on purpose. They wanted a photo with the people with their art. And Jamie did the same. Like Jamie was like, oh, I forgot to get a photo of you two with your pieces that you picked up.
I know.
And
I hated
I was
that.
like, man, shoot, yeah, if I would have known that, you know, would have come back and stuff. But again, it's just, you know, trying to get myself in that mindset to do that moving forward. But so this was where the auction was. This was on the pavilion. This is from Bill Cox, again of comic art fans and who, you know, helped bring this event together. His photo was better than mine because it was of the crowd itself and just how big this was. Um,
Oh yeah,
again,
and
such
it's a
an
good yeah, it's a good spread
yeah.
picture, and the not only before we get started with all the stuff that took place, the food too that was
Yeah,
pretty good.
I know. Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I was just
that's
gonna say.
okay, okay,
It
okay.
was
I didn't want you
nice,
to
like the
gloss over that.
catering, like the open bar, and then having the food there. Like it was nice, especially after walking around the convention all day, and especially because like I'm really bad at conventions of eating, because I'm just like
Yes.
I'll just starve myself
Not
and I'll
me.
get something when I get it because I'm just walking. Like I'm gonna spend all my time with the art. I don't want to waste it eating or doing something like that. But um,
Yeah,
yeah, this was
I had a cheeseburger with a side of pizza. It was the
yeah.
greatest. It was the
I was gonna
greatest
say,
thing.
I ate like, yeah, like I ate until like the very end when they were like taking everything away. I was just like, wait, okay, I'm gonna just get like one
Okay.
more slice of pizza.
And I put a hurting
Um,
on the Diet Coke. So they probably lost some money on Diet Cokes that night because you know,
yeah,
as you can see from my liter of cola, Super
tons of
Troopers
Coke.
reference.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was painful for him, but my bladder driving home that night, my bladder was like
yeah.
paying me back for it. But anyway,
Oh goodness. No,
yeah,
it was super
bladder
nice.
talk.
So again, after the show ended at 5, it went in to both the awards and in the auction after that. So I think getting into it now, yeah.
Yes. Okay. The
So this is
awards.
a mix of my photos and I think one other person's, but this was the first year they had their Jack and Ross Kirby Awards. And this was something that Kezra put together with his grandkids, their grandkids, and a committee full of people that helped, you know, to choose each of these artists because there were different. Oh my goodness, what's the word I'm blanking on? I'm totally spacing. Like
Yeah,
different
I'm trying to help you, man. We're
different awards,
oh, okay. Okay.
different
Yeah. Different.
aspects
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that different comic artists were awarded
I
for.
got
So
you.
again, for instance, this one was Independence, you know, one who remains steadfast and fierce. And it was nice because like they would have, you know, a blurb with each one, a description of the award itself and like why that person was getting that award. And they even had videos after the fact of interviews with different artists about that artist that had won the award and pictures of their artwork and stuff. And admittedly, they did have some technical difficulties, and I told Kazra this that night that even with those difficulties, like the energy that surrounded those awards was so thick in the air. Like
Yeah, it was
just
really
the like
cool.
because everybody's sitting there watching it. And granted, there's people chatting and stuff in the back, but you can just tell how much care and passion went into the awards itself and the presentations, and again, really promoting and trying to respect these artists by also respecting Jack and Ross Kirby and like what the awards represent coming from them, and what a pivotal role they played in the field of comics and just art in general. So
And it was a
um,
little different. I don't know if you're, but
yeah,
the original Jack Kirby Awards, I think, was like 85 to 87. There was a small
yeah,
span of them. So to be able to bring him back and honor the man and have, like you said, have his family there with him. And one of the things as the videos were playing, some I can't remember who said it, but one of the people moderators up there, one of the people speaking, said that this was probably the only audience that didn't need audio, that everybody kind of
yeah.
knew who was
I was gonna say
speaking.
it was who was
It
up
was,
there presenting with Kazra. It was I mean I'm
I
blanking
can't
on his
remember.
name. I
Yeah,
feel terrible. But yeah, he said that he's like this is
what's his
one of the
name?
only video presentations where you don't need the audio. Again, just one singular piece of art is more than enough to let everyone know who exactly is winning this award before they were actually announced. Um,
I tell you what got me, what really like almost made me jump out of my chair was whenever they showed John Romita Sr. on there,
yeah,
and John Romita Jr., who was the Storyteller Award winner, stood up and started clapping fiercely, and it was just like you could see the pride in his dad, and the speech
yeah,
he gave about to incorporate LeBron James and Bronny into his speech
yeah.
was really good. But okay, thank you
Yeah,
very much, Kaiser. I
thank you, Kazra. Yeah,
apologize
so
for not.
Rob,
Yeah.
yeah, writer for Forbes and ICV2. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was,
such a great point. Such a great point with it too. Everybody
yeah,
knew and appreciated who was on there speaking, even though they may have to. And I thought Cosmer said a great point. He's like, if we have one more technical difficulty, I'm going to start rapping up here. And he never started rapping. I was waiting for that moment. I was holding my breath, but maybe next year. Maybe.
yeah. No, it was, yeah, it was really great. And again, I love the idea too of having the different like the Independence Award, Visionary Award, Newcomer,
Yes.
Storyteller, having these different aspects that represent Jack and Roz and who they were, and then giving that to the artist. And I liked Zoe Thorgood is down there in the bottom corner. I love it because she was told that like the awards were already kind of predetermined. So like
Yeah.
if
That
you
was.
like you knew you're gonna win. So she was talking like, oh, I took back a few rum shots, not realizing I was gonna get up here
But
and
she had one of the best speeches of the night. I loved
yeah.
what she was saying, because she was saying, artist, if you're sitting at a table and a young child comes up to your table and they're not as, the art may not be as good as what it could be, don't be, too critical with them. Try to be as supportive as you can. And she said something along
Because
the lines, we're the
well,
artists that we once looked up to now, and this is our
yeah,
chance to
I was gonna
pass them.
say she said that yeah, she was like everybody who's out in the audience, the artists out in the audience, like who you're looking at now is who you are to the younger generation. So like you said,
Yes.
it's you're representing um you're representing that kind of similar, award, that same idea of like you said, of being there to help move forward the next generation of curious minds and creative minds and artists. So yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
I was gonna say yeah, because you had to get out of there, Carl. So yeah, I caught you in the back. So yeah, that's awesome that you were able to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I thought he was
Um,
gone already because he was trying to beat the blizzard that was coming
yeah,
into to Philly. I mean,
yeah.
to
Oh my
his city.
goodness, yeah. There were so many
So
people, excuse me, who were dealing with that. Unfortunately, that like wild blizzard that blew in so many flights that were canceled and stuff. I'm sure Ink Pulp was incredibly happy that they'd picked this time to do
the
their
tour,
tour because then
yeah.
they could just drive out of there like, oh, we're totally fine.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's a pretty sweet idea for that.
she must have seen your covers, yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
good.
yeah. That's
Yeah, no,
that's
yeah.
fair.
I was
That's
gonna
fair.
say, yeah, the
I'm
ones that
I'm a horrible artist. I'm not. But
no,
I'm not trying to get better.
yeah,
I'm not trying to get
Brett
better.
Bean loved them, so that's what counts. So,
But he thought a
um,
child had did it. I think at first when
yeah,
I showed it to him, he's
no,
like, "Oh,
he
who did
knew,
that?" And he's
yeah,
like, "Dustin." He's like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
yeah, that's
he knew.
different. Yeah, that's nice." But
Um,
it might be a variant. There's so many dork variants coming out now. We don't
I know,
know.
yeah, you can
Scotty
just
top three.
supply your own.
Yeah.
And then again, just two more. So the creator and then teacher. Um,
Yeah, Walt was great too up there with his
yeah,
acceptance speech.
he had a great. I mean, they all like you said, and
They were really good.
John Romita up there as
And
well.
Nate Powell, all of them did a great, and most of them were there, with the exception of Bill Sienkiewicz and John Byrne, and there's like John Byrne was going to go, but he realized he'd have to leave his apartment. I thought that was a great line.
I did like that one. Yeah.
Sienkiewicz had a great thing where he was outside speaking, accepting the
Mhm.
award outside his house because he said the batteries in his smoke detector kept going off.
Yeah,
So,
we're going
it was
crazy.
real crazy. So those were the only two of the seven that weren't there, but it was great. They had a great panel of people that actually selected the awards too.
Yeah.
So they brought them all on stage
I
and
was gonna
just
say
had a
I
great.
really like that too of when I mean when you did that, Kazra, of bringing everybody up on stage and um giving them that spotlight as well, because like you said, I mean it takes a lot to do that kind of stuff, I imagine.
Oh,
Looking on the
absolutely.
outside, I mean I can't imagine what that's like to, you know, get everybody together to get this kind of stuff set up and to execute it in such a way. It's and this week is a lot of work, not just for the awards but everything that's going on. So yeah, kudos to everybody who helped be a part of this, including
Oh, beautiful, beautiful work. Yeah,
yes,
Thorgood even commented how cool this this award
yeah,
is there.
it was, yeah, this was, so I'll preface, so this isn't the final one. So this one was a separate one made for I was told, for his grandkids, the
Oh,
where the
really?
artist actually
Okay,
put Jack
I
Kirby
missed
in
that.
at his desk. Yeah, this I asked this. I was at his. I was across from his booth. The artist who, which, sorry, let me see. Yeah, I think it's the next one. It's Manifest Sculpt. Um, but so his a rep or somebody there was talking to me about you know, the sculpture and again just the details of capturing Jack Kirby's actual, you know, work area. You know, his desk, the floor, the chair itself. You know, again, it's all part of where Jack worked and where he was able to create the, you know, the artwork that he did that we all came to love. And one of the facts that he told me, and it's hard to see in this photo on the left there, but the artist actually put handprints on Jack Kirby's shoulders to represent Roz, kind of
Oh,
being there, like in spirit, or like kind of help. And I was like, wow, that's such a
great
great
detail.
detail. And again, the fact that his grandkids were included is just so special. I mean, this is a big, you know, uh, heavy award. And like I said, on the next page, so this is the award each of the artists gets. So they had one there representing the award, and they'll each be mailed or shipped their own with, you know, inscribed the award
Oh,
that
that's
they
cool.
won. Yeah, it's just a beautiful piece, and especially the Kirby Crackle. It's so interesting to see such an iconic. Um, uh, oh my goodness. You know, the art form that he helped, you know, his namesake,
Yeah.
translated into 3D, because it's a thing I've just never thought of before. But I immediately knew what it was representing. I was like, oh, that's the Kirby Crackle. And so I was like, yeah, I was like, I kind of figured, you know, that was, but just so cool the way that it's represented here in the 3D form. So yeah, this was really cool to see in person. I really loved being able to see this up close. So yeah,
Well, the
very very cool award for a very awesome award show.
and I will say too, how it's one thing to present it, an award show when everything goes off the hitch and everybody's but the fact that, like you said, with just the very small issues that we're having at the end of the show, at the end of the award show, no one was talking about that. Everybody was talking about the speeches. Everybody was talking about the awards that were won, and the actual award itself was the highlight of it. So I mean, that
Yeah,
just kind of speaks volume to what kind of an award show it was. The people that selected, like I said, kudos to them again. That was the seven that were picked. Uh, couldn't I mean I was surprised because we didn't know who was going to be picked either. So we were
yeah,
waiting to see the name, and the only thing I was kind of hesitating to clap because I was making sure I was clapping at the right time. But
yeah.
whenever the person started walking up there, it's like, all right, let loose, because these are the seven winners, and they were very well
Yeah.
deserving. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll go back one slide because there's a photo of all the winners and the people who helped contribute to it that I wanted to
yes,
put
please.
up. But yeah, I loved, yeah, this was, yeah, these are all the names along with the award that they won. And then, like I said, this is the group photo, and this is from Nate, who actually won. He's
Oh,
right there
cool.
in the
Yeah.
center. This was from his post he made on a forum or a blog of his own. Um, so I was glad again to be able to get this photo to show off, and just wanted to contribute that to him. But yeah, just again the amount of people on that stage alone, And again, this represents only a small portion of the people who were at the convention itself. So yeah, I mean, it's a convention that I hope continues to grow, and I definitely want to be a part of and
Yeah.
continue to go back and support any way that we can. So
Well, I did like whenever, Thorogood also said that, she thought they were kind of predetermined and didn't know because I thought, well, that's going to put everybody on edge for the rest of the show now because
yeah,
all
no,
these
nobody,
artists,
yeah, it's like
everybody,
anybody's, yeah, it's all fair game. So
I even saw Seth put his drink down at that point because he's like, Seth Traub could appear on the screen at any second. I'll have to go up there and give a sloppy
you
speech.
just never know. Oh
So
my goodness.
anyway,
Well, I feel bad. Again, it was one of those things where, again, you're in the moment kind of a deal. This is
yeah.
the only picture I got from the auction.
I blame these because I bid on things I wasn't even
Yeah,
planning on bidding on, but these were so much fun to hold up.
they
And
were. Yeah. No, and it started because Maxie's was first. So Maxie and Way Shacks were the two that I was trying to go for. And funny enough, I later found out that Maxie was behind us as I was bidding. So like Maxie saw me later. Maxie was like, miming, holding up a auction thing. I was like, yeah, I tried, dude. I was like, I really wanted the piece.
you
But
went hard on for that one. You went
there were
really
some
hard
hungry
for that
bidders there.
one. But Tatiana and Matt, amazing job. A difficult job
Yes.
too because there was
Yeah.
there was some rowdy people, and I mean, it was not nobody was being rude on purpose. I'm sure everybody were just seeing people they hadn't seen for a while, but the volume in the seats surrounding the area and the standing area surrounding was getting loud, and they had the tough job of trying to tell people politely to stop, and then I think Tatiana got where she was. She was like, "All right, guys."
That's how it's
And Matt was,
done. Yeah.
yeah, and but they did a really, and they made it fun too. It was a lot of fun to see them up there and modeling. Matt. Here's
Yeah.
an image of him up there. Is that Aranga's piece or I can't see?
It was a really long X-Men.
That was Aranga. Yeah, Aranga's
Arangas,
piece.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, this one was crazy to see even from afar. I mean, it's just such a massive piece.
Yes.
And I was really glad that they had the TV up there. That was a really nice touch of having the screens. They could go through and actually bring the piece up digitally, so that way, they had a larger image to make it easier for people in the back.
It's cool. The person the group of people that won this piece, like after they won, Aranga came and was like hugging the people and thank you. I mean, it was just cool how real time the artist interaction was with everybody else. Hey, Angela, I hope you're having a good night. But I think Tatiana had a great line too about this period because it was like you can't see my hands. It was a huge piece.
I mean, it was at least
but she had talked about putting it on booty shorts or something.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that was her joke with this
line.
one. Yeah, that one was a solid joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was. I mean, I can't imagine again how difficult these are. Like you said, it's mainly just because again, the people who are talking are people who are just catching up and having a conversation and getting caught up in that, and while the auction's going on itself. So again, it's not like they're being rude on purpose, but again, it's just part of the atmosphere that you find with conventions like this. I mean, same with Heroes and their auction that they do, where it's even more difficult because at least that one's interior because it was like the sound just gets stuck inside. So this is at least being outside was nicer.
Yeah.
Like somebody said too, thank goodness it didn't rain like it did the next day, where Sunday rained pretty badly in the day, and then was again, it's just that Florida weather where you just you never know, the intermittent rain and stuff will come.
The wildest piece of the night for me was the piece that midway through the auction, Bill announced that it was going to be a cover, and then the bidding had almost stopped. It's like going one. It's a Doctor Doom, Steven. I'm not going to even try to butcher the guy's last name. He's an amazing artist, but it was announced midway through the auction that it was going to be. It was like going once, going twice. Hold on a second.
The Comic Den almost had it, and then it was like, "Come on! Like, what do you mean?"
Bill Cox has just said this will be a cover, and all of a sudden the paddle started going up again, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is like real life drama. This is better than anything on TV right now."
It's addictive. The funny fun for me because again, Way Shacks was the only one I was going for. And again, like I knew my max limit. Again, it's not like it's crazy high, but they started off and all the paddles just started going off, because I think it started like 250 and I was like 5. I'm just gonna say 5. Like I just want it like let's just jump. Like let's not, and you kind of hear like they're like, oh, and it's like, it's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll, it's that just the energy again that you get at these. And again, because I just, I want to support, and then what's great obviously is that part of the proceeds, a lot of it goes to charities. So it's, not
Yeah.
only are
Oh,
you
that's a great
supporting the
cause.
artist
Yeah.
and the piece, but you're supporting, the
Heroes
convention
had some
itself.
pieces
And yeah,
that were
exactly. So
100% going to them. And have you seen the
yes,
movie
yeah.
War Horse?
Yes, it's
At
been,
the end, where
quite a
they
while.
auction
Yeah.
off the horse at the end, and the guy's like, 1,000, and let there be no more. I wanted
Yeah.
to do that for one of the pieces, but I just I did not have the budget to do it. But
Yeah.
it was so much fun. I didn't between me, you, and Seth, we won a grand total of 0 pieces,
Yeah.
but we probably had about 50 bids between us. But it was a lot of fun, and it was there were pieces that I bid on early because I thought I don't have a shot at this, but if I
Yeah.
do, I didn't. Spoiler. But it was so much fun to raise that paddle and just to have them see you over
Well,
there.
again, I mean, the
It was,
paddles themselves were just so cool because you're holding up absolute Batman's axe, pretty much in a sense. So it's like, man, why wouldn't you want to, hold that up? So,
yeah.
um, yeah,
Yeah.
no, again,
I feel like a
super cool
superhero.
that
Yeah.
that was included in the goodie bag. And again, because it's another one of those things where it's like such a difficult thing to, I'm sure, get together and stuff. And I think the way they did it was so smart because everybody had their paddle already, and then obviously they had more paddles. If people didn't have theirs later on,
And,
but
and the sponsors they put on it too. I don't know if
yeah.
you may have mentioned that earlier when I had my headphones out, but yeah,
No, I think I
so cool.
mentioned it with the badge, but yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I was on. It was the same with
Yeah, same. Scene.
yeah, with the axe itself. So
Very cool.
yeah, but yeah,
Pickups.
now we're on pickups. Yeah, so I wanted to give you the warning. So I split up. I'm going first, and then Dustin will go. I have fewer pieces. Like, all right, I'll get mine out of the way, and then yeah, no, I'm kidding. So again, I went in, I had 4 commissions pre-planned and acquired. I wasn't planning on getting anything at the show. Unfortunately, one of my commissions fell through. But that's just because stuff unfortunately came up that was higher priority, and I was totally fine with that. Like, I totally get, again, this is, a side thing, commissions are. So and they were super nice about it. They asked if, I was still interested, if I would still like the piece. And I said, 100% I'm still interested if you're interested. So hopefully I still get that at some point here after the show, which I'm super looking forward to, that particular piece. So I can't wait to see what that artist does with it. But without further ado, and I might how do I here we go. I'm gonna full screen just to give like a little bit more to the art and just have us off for a second.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to do that. That's good. That works. Better.
Oh yeah, just kind of pump it up. But so Maxi, this was my first piece from Maxi. And it's funny because I had a theme for the other commissions, and then with Maxi's, I was like, no, I've got the other 3 doing kind of the similar theme. I'm gonna go different. And again, it's funny because I always kind of go off the wall in a sense with my commissions. Like, I don't ask for the normal quote stuff that people are asking for with superheroes and stuff. So I went with Aizawa, one of my favorite teachers from the My Hero Academia anime. And again, Mark, Maxi's big on slice of life stuff that he loves doing. So Mark, when he asked me, he was like, do you want slice of life or something else? And I was like, I'll let Maxi pick, whatever Maxi wants, kind of a deal. Because again, I want something that I want, but I still also want it through the artist and allow them to have fun with it. And yeah, he crushed it. Funny enough, he had posted this on his Instagram story a little bit before the show, so I got a sneak peek of the work in progress, which he apologized for. And I was like, oh, it's no problem. Like, I know some people don't like being spoiled. I was like, you can spoiled or not, I was like, I'm still going to enjoy the piece. And especially when you pick it up in person, because yeah, this piece is just, and it was funny because he said he had such a fun time with his scarf, because again, that's his thing, is he uses that to capture and subdue enemies, and he can also turn off their abilities with his quirk, which is Eraser, which is why he's called Eraserhead. That's his hero name. But just the brushwork into the end of the ribbon there, and then the trees and stuff at the bottom. It's just such a full, awesome piece. Yeah, absolutely love it. Such a great piece. And like we were saying earlier, Maxi's such a nice person. Was just so great to talk to about this stuff. This one, yeah. So this is my second piece from Mateo. I funny enough, I bought his Ahsoka piece that he posted on Essential Sequential end of last year, and I'm a big Darksiders fan. Darksiders is a video game that's created by Joe Madureira, his company Vigil, before it shut down. And it's all about the four horsemen of the apocalypse: war, death, fury, and strife. And so Mateo and the other artists you'll see, and then the other artist whose commission I'll be getting later, I gave them the option of choosing one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Funny enough, Mateo, I didn't give a choice at first. I said, hey, I would love to see you take on war. And then later on before the show, I was like, hey, I don't know if you're still working on this stuff. I just wanted to give the option of choosing which one you went with. But he ended up going up with war. And again, Mateo's pieces are just so, gosh, they're just so vivid and dynamic. And we actually got to talking. He has a background in graphic design. That's like what he went to school for. He's based in Italy. And so Italy at the time didn't really have schools for comic art like they do now. So he went into graphic design, and you can really see it in his pieces. I mean, again, just the way he works with negative space and that white at the bottom, but it doesn't feel like it's lacking. It feels like it supports the character and then leads up into the flames that you're getting at the top. But gosh, his pieces are just so gorgeous. I love, like I said, I love his work. I was first introduced on Black Science back, 10 plus years ago or whatever. When I was living in Sarasota, Minnesota, by Britain. Funny enough, Britain is who introduced me. And so, like I said, I've been, becoming more and more aware of his art. And like I said, this is one of many pieces I definitely hope to get from Mateo, because again, not only is his art is fantastic, like I say, he's just such a great person to talk to, and was super kind. And like I said, I'm super looking forward to picking up Fourth Father. I actually got a few other things signed by him. My Black Science 1 first print volume, King of Spies. And then I actually meant to bring my Fourth Father books. I got one from backing Sean Crystal's Ink Pulp podcast, or his art book. And Mateo was like, well, here, and like just grabs a copy of Fourth Father that he had and signs it and gives it to me. I'm like, dude, you don't have to like give me that. He's like, no, I'm happy to. And I'm like, man, that's so incredibly nice to do something like that. You don't have to. But again, that's, he wants to get this book out there, to get as much word of mouth on it as possible before its launch here, coming up in the next few months, I believe. So I think I think it's fine because he hasn't mentioned it, but it's in March. I'll at least say that it's in March. So I'm super looking forward to backing that coming up. So this one was the one piece that I picked up that was not one I was expecting to. So this is, and it's funny, I'd be curious to see if people can get this. This is a prelim that Mateo had. It's about 8.5 by 11, roughly. And again, incredibly detailed piece for a prelim. There were a handful of these, and we'll kind of get into it later. This was for I Hate Fairyland issue 50. So Mateo has his cover coming out, and we'll get a glimpse of that later on. But again, they'll do prelim sketches, but Mateo like goes above and beyond. Again, these are like 8.5 by 11, around 6 of these. And then, however many there were. And these were handed off to Skottie, who then, chooses the one that he wants to go with. And then Mateo, makes it that final piece. But to see Gert as Predator with the curls and everything, I mean, it was just, it's such a cool piece in person to see. So I ended up grabbing this one. Again, I was just like, man, I just love Mateo's work. His stuff is just so dynamic. This one was Eric Canetti. So again, Eric had the same, oh my goodness, prompt, sorry, for his piece. And again, I gave him, whichever the four horsemen, and Eric's response was, I'm not really finding a lot on this. Could you help me out? And funny enough, I put together a reference package for the other commission, the one that I ended up, that I'll be getting later. And so I was like, I actually put together a reference packet for another artist. I'll give you that. And I tried picking, 3 to 4 images of each horseman, mainly done by Joe Mad. And it was funny because I got to talk to them about it, about the game and stuff, because then they didn't, they weren't as familiar with it. But he ended up going with Strife, and he said he had such a blast drawing the helmet, and just, getting into the detail of that, which is so interesting to me because I find that so many artists don't like mechanical stuff or hard surface stuff. They don't find it as fun to draw, but Eric supposedly did enjoy drawing this, which again, I always appreciate hearing, because again, that's my thought process too. Is I don't want somebody to not enjoy the piece, even though I'm buying it, I'm commissioning them. Like I still want it to be a conversation between myself and the artist, and you know, kind of what we're both wanting, and then meeting in the middle and getting there. So
I will say for
this
this one
one,
too, the light on the top of the helmet there,
yeah,
this image does not do it justice, because whenever you see it in person, it's like just the detail that they put that Eric put up there at the top was really
yeah.
impressive. It almost glowed. It looked like it was glowing in
Yeah,
person. So
no, I mean, like you said, the subtle shading and the highlights on the hair. I mean, it's yeah, it was just such a, and he's such a cool character. Again, these I just love the design they did for these characters. They each have their own personality, their own design. Um, yeah, I love these games. I've got, you know, the Darksiders tattoo that Joe Mad has when he created the game as well. So yeah, super cool to get these pieces. Again, not a commit, and like not, you know, characters that they very much get asked to do, but one that they were thankfully happy to do, and thankfully had a blast doing. Um, so Jamie, I picked up Jamie's IC3 spawn piece that he did. So again, he did or Pulptober and IC3. And he posted this spawn piece, and I was just like floored. You know, I'd
yeah,
gotten 4 other pieces, and so I, you know, I held off on this one, and it just surprisingly went without purchase. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna grab it and I'll pick it up at the show. I was like, I want this piece. And again, like that's what I was saying. I mean, just seeing this piece in person and just the detail of the chains, the way the cloak, the
incredible.
cape is wrapped around the body. And again, I love that like off yellow that he went with for the shading and stuff. I mean, it just works so perfectly with these sketches. Yeah, this was a fantastic piece. So this one I didn't get a photo with. Jamie, unfortunately, that he wasn't able to take a picture of me with the art itself.
No, and we're really pushing for Jamie to get these in sketchbooks too, because there were so many tremendous pieces from both those prompts in October that they would look so good collected together. So hopefully, at a future con, we can see those.
No, 100%. I definitely agree that I would love to see, you know, whether it's an IC3 or ink, you know, October, like you said, a combination of those pieces,
Yeah,
to be able to see them. And I apologize because I'm actually I realized there was one more piece that I did not grab, unfortunately, that I'll show off here.
oh,
It was also Jamie. This was also a kind of last second grab. On Sunday. Let me see if I can.
I don't know that I've seen this
Let me
one.
up
Have
there.
I?
No, you hadn't. So this is a small one I picked up for my wife. So these doodles, Jamie did back at Heroes, or he had them at Heroes Con last year, and I didn't get them then. He still had a few of them. Excuse me.
No, you're good.
Where he drew the Super Smash Brothers characters, the Super Smash Brothers video game, and so I grabbed this little Jigglypuff for my wife. My wife loves the Pokemon
That's cool.
Jigglypuff, so he had these. These are $40, you know, for this sketch. And again, I just love his black and white inks, his style there. So I thought this was a super fun piece to
That
pick
is
up
awesome.
and to give to her. So
Well, I
yeah,
saw someone else
she loved it. Yeah.
post like a Mario looking character, and they had
Yeah,
40.
yep. It was from that same. I saw that too. Yeah, that was from that
I didn't
same
realize it was a
batch. So
series of them. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought
yeah,
somebody just asked him to draw that. I didn't realize he did a bunch of them like that.
yeah. He had a handful. So yeah, it was the ones that were
Oh, that's
still
cool.
unclaimed. So I was like, all right, I'll get that one as well. So, and then oh yes, so again they had their free sketches on Sunday. And so they provided cards for everybody inside the bag. And I feel bad. I should have gotten a picture of the back because the back was really cool too. Because again, it lists
Yeah.
OAX 2026. You know, it has the date and it also has a place for the artist to sign the piece as well. So I was able to get 2. I ended up getting Wayshack's, which again, he asked me what I want. I just said, hey, do whatever you want. Just have fun with it.
And he did.
And he took a brush and just did this super quick, cool skull. And again, I love that he signed the front as well. And he was like, is that okay? And I was like, 100%. I was like, that's awesome. I love that. You know, again, just what you wanted it to do. So that's what I think is so fun. And then to the right there, again, Maxi Dallo, you know, I was just like, hey, you know, do whatever you want. Or I was like, if maybe that's too much, then I can give you a character. But I happen to be wearing a Chihiro shirt, which is the main character from the Studio Ghibli film Spirited Away. And so before I knew it, I saw him drawing No Face, on the page, and he was like, I'm doing something different. I've never done this like kind of entrails looking, the intestine, kind of like the tube looking stuff that was coming off them. And again, I was just like, man, that's just so awesome. I absolutely loved what he did. So I had originally asked for another Aizawa to go with my first one, and I was going to ask for Slice of Life because I do love Maxi Slice of Life pieces. But I then ended up switching to a full-on no-face commission from Maxi that he'll be working on because he was like, yeah, that's going to be really cool. So seeing him excited about it, and again, it's one of my all-time favorite Studio Ghibli film. I was more than happy to let him take it. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to being able to see that in the future. So
very nice.
And then we're gonna dive right. I meant to have a slide to like have a pause, but we're gonna dive right into yours, Dustin.
Yeah, no,
so I'll hit the
you're
next
good.
slide, and then you can get into yours. So
Well, I will say real quick about those sketch cards. I mean, there's not a ton of cons out there that have a slotted time from 2 to 3. I think was on Sunday. That the majority, I don't know if it was every single artist that did it. I wasn't there on Sunday, and the ones that were denoted weren't every single artist, but it was the majority of the artists were offering free sketches, and the cards that OAX was kind enough to provide in the gift bags, along with I saw some of them were sketching on other cards. Such a cool opportunity for anybody out there that loves art, and like you saw from Tyler's pieces there, they were really cool pieces. They weren't phoning them in. They were doing a great job with them. And go out there and look at some of the Facebook groups for sketches, and you'll see similar results across the board. The first page here that we'll get into, of course,
just
is
real quick. I was just
oh,
gonna.
okay,
I was
go.
trying to look for the sketch cards, but no, I was gonna say that yeah. So it wasn't every artist who participated, but a good chunk of them still
Yeah,
did. And I know like there were some certain people and here. Sorry, I'll bring us back in for a second. There were certain people like Adam Hughes whose line immediately filled up.
yeah,
And had that was your hour was waiting for Adam Hughes to get a sketch. But again, the emphasis they put on was especially with kids and parents with kids who were interested in like artists like that, so they wanted it to be, again, it's something that's achievable or approachable for people to pick up, because that's the thing is I mean, again, there's pieces ranging in prices from under $100 to upwards of tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars, kind of a deal.
yeah,
So
a lot.
yeah, so again, that was the nice thing, was being able to find that balance of like, okay, I can get some stuff from here, or like, okay, that's out of my price range, but maybe next time I save up for that kind of a deal. But that's kind of what I think this, again, it was, not for, for that, for just the passion and the collectors. So again, cool to see the emphasis put on young collectors who might not be able to pay for
Oh,
a
absolutely.
piece like that. So
Well, the other thing too that I thought was really cool that I saw. Oh, you don't have to see my face for this
they
one.
want to see our face.
No, they don't. Well, it was the fact that the sketch cards, like you said, Adams, of course, his line's going to fill up great. A lot of the other artists there, they're going to fill up. But what that forces, and I saw some videos whenever we were doing research about this, where the guys was like, I went to so and so's line, there's already 9 deep, and he said he was taking 7 was all he could do. So he said I immediately started looking for other people. So it kind of funnels you to some artists that you may not be that familiar with, and you may not want to pay, 250, $500, whatever it is for a commission. But you'll get a free sketch from them, and then once you see the sketch and you see how good they are, it gets you thinking, well, I guess next year this person's on my list, or next con I'm with this person, it's
Yeah,
on their list. So it's really good promotional stuff for
yeah,
artists that may not get your eyes first, but are super talented, that deserve your eyes, and this kind of forces you to take a look at them. And like forces, this sounds like it
yeah. I
could
mean,
be
again,
good,
I
but
I had gotten a commission from Maxi, but I was like, oh, I still wanted to get a card from it. Then I was hoping to get something from Wayshak, so I was like, all right, I can get a sketch card. But definitely, I mean, there was, like you were saying, that was kind of the emphasis I had on it, of getting an artist so like, okay, maybe I'm not familiar with, or like you said, to kind of put
yeah.
my foot in the door of like, all right, I'll get a sketch card, and it's like, oh my gosh, wow, that's awesome. Like, I want a full piece from you now. Like, I want to be able to invest. Or again, for a kid to get something like that, I mean, you'll remember that for
Oh yeah.
the rest of your life, kind of deal. Like, man, I remember getting that sketch card from so and so, back when I was like 8 years old or whatever. So
Dude, first Heroes, when my son went with me in 2022, and Mark Bagley was there, and he drew the
yeah,
Spider-Man on his hand. Every piece of art I get, and I've said on the show, he's like, "Is that the guy that drew the spider on my hand?" Because it really left an impression on
yeah,
him.
it leaves an
So
impression. Yeah,
so
no, 100%. Yeah.
all right. Well, I'll try to run through. We're already at the 1 hour and 20 mark. I won't spend too much time. But these are our good buddy people that have been on the show before. Of course, Jamie Jones and Jared Cullum. Jamie, these are both pre-show commissions. Dork, this was. I was trying to think of a character for Jamie to draw, and I mentioned Dork to him, and he said absolutely. Fun fact: this was the first piece that was drawn on his new board on his new art table, and
Yeah, that
it's
was a
silly.
really
So,
cool, yeah, fact that he told you, yeah.
I was honored to have that on there, and he said he had a lot of fun with it. And then Dork blew up, and so it. I was thinking, Jamie does such a good job with this type of character that he would do it. And then whenever he sent the image of it, and it was like the next day. It was incredibly fast. I was floored by it. So he also
Well,
introduced. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
well,
on.
well, and I was just gonna say that, like he said too, like he was like, man, I wish I could tell people like this is the stuff that I love drawing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I was like, and again, like that's kind of my thing with artists, talking with them and stuff. And I was like, man, you just got to share that. Then I was like, share, that kind of tidbit because I think people are drawn to that. That's some of the best pieces you get are the pieces the artist most enjoys drawing. So
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. The more fun they can have, the better results you're going to get. Because and I'm not saying any artist is going to, as I used the phrase earlier, phone it in. But if they're really having fun doing it, they're gonna try things. They're gonna do different things with it, and this was a really fun sketch, which led me to the very first time that Jamie has introduced these 5x7 paintings. Our good buddy Derek Loffman has been doing something in the latest I Hate Fairyland where Larry just keeps getting punched. It's a reoccurring thing, and I love it.
it's gotta be a panel in each one at least.
I
So
giggle every time I see it. It makes me so happy. And in issue 48 that just came out, I read it real quickly. I want to read it again, but I'm sure at one time during the Fly Larry, the Gert Larry merger, where they become one person, Gert punches herself, which is which is great. Just a great callback. I laughed when I saw that. But I asked Jamie, I said, "Can you draw Larry getting punched by Gert?" And all I want is just her hand coming through. And 5x7, Larry for his size, I thought would be a perfect fit, and he did. He did. I was grinning ear to ear for a good solid 10 minutes after seeing that one. So cool.
no,
Uh,
I was yeah, that was again another piece that I was like, man, I wish I would have thought to get that to request that.
yeah. Well, it's. Uh, I don't always have good ideas, but every once in a while I want to come through. But
No, you got good ideas.
yeah, yeah, yeah. One piece I definitely wanted to get, especially before March, was the Usagi '84 sketch there by Jared. This was
Yes.
this was his. I can never think the paper size, but the little bit smaller. It's not quite five. It's larger than 5x7, but it was the more. I think it was the more smaller size. But he allowed up to two characters, so I picked these two characters. I sent the list to Artist Bullpen when his list went live, and his list quickly sold out and locked up. So I was glad to get on that one, and I just
Yeah.
I think once that book comes out, especially with the blessing they've gotten from Stan, that Jared is going to be a harder artist to get at Hero. So I wanted to make sure at least get one of these, and I'm really kicking myself for not bidding. Had I not got this piece, I would have bid on his auction piece that night,
Yeah.
which was went for a bargain. Same thing.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Jamie's piece went up second,
Yes. Yeah.
and I was waiting on another piece that I got outbid on really quickly. Had I not got outbid on that piece, I would have went after Jamie's piece too because Jamie had a beautiful Doom. His Doctor
Yeah.
Doom was incredible. So
No, his and again such a big piece too. No, I was the same because I'd forgotten that Jared was also again. I tried to get as many people. Again, it's something I'll prep for next year. But the free
yes,
sketch stuff, Jared was part of that as well. And so I saw somebody who got, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And actually, what Jared had done was because he says he doesn't like drawing at the sketch card size. He actually gave the person like a 4x6 or a 4x5,
oh
like
wow, that's like an
slightly
index card.
larger, yeah, actual sketch that was like very similar, kind of like this. And it was just like, wow, that's crazy that he would be. And it makes sense with like the watercolor stuff. I'm sure to get the
Yeah,
details, it's easier at a larger page size, but still incredibly nice that he offered that rather than just sticking to the sketch cards or just not doing them at all. So
and absolutely, we watched him paint live on the show here, several
yeah,
months ago, and he's incredibly quick with it too. To be as fluid as that painting motion is, and then it was very impressive to watch how quick that large piece came together that he did
yeah,
live on the show. So, yeah, I
no,
mean,
100%, yeah.
I could probably just spend 2 hours watching him paint and not even have to
Oh
talk to
yeah.
him. So
Watercolor is such a fascinating. And it was funny too because there was a few artists who had like handheld air blowers and stuff who were,
yeah,
working with wet inks and wet media that, wanted it dry so they could quickly, not necessarily for the sketches, but just like there at the con that I thought was pretty funny. So
yeah. I think of the Scotty Whatnot show every time I see somebody pull him out and him not wanting to use it on the show because he thought it was going to be too loud. So
yeah, it's too loud. Yeah.
oh me. And reason number two of the one and two reasons I came to OAX was I really wanted to rogue from Mr. Dotson, Terry Dotson, for a long time, and he does commissions for a lot of the shows that he goes to. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to attend any of the shows that he goes to. So whenever I saw that he was coming here, it was one of the calf live shows I did not watch. Where I think he had two spots open up there, and I did not get one of those two spots. But about 2 weeks before the con actually started, he opened up his list on his own newsletter, his own page, and thankfully I was able to get one of the spots. Uh, Terry was recovering. He was better, but he was still recovering a little bit from a sickness he had. So he wasn't. He was telling everybody, "I'm not going to be shaking hands or anything like that, just to be safe." But he's like, "I'm not contagious." But such a humble gentleman, great guy. I love
Yeah.
Terry. He's one that if you email, he emails back. He doesn't just give short answers. He gives long answers and talks to you, and
Yeah.
just a great dude.
No, yeah, and sorry, I was just gonna
Oh
hijack for just a second. 'Cause
no,
I
no,
just
please do.
recently showed you this, but I only recently became familiar with his work a few months ago. The Dodsons, when I had found this art book at my comic store, and so I picked this up because flipping through, I was like, "Wow, this is absolutely gorgeous! I love this stuff." So I brought it to the show, and he was kind enough to sign it there. And I love the way he did the little bubble, the speech bubble for Tyler, and then sign it there. So he seemed like he was happy when I said that. When I told him that this art book was what introduced me, and he said that he was really proud of it, and what they were able to put together, and especially the fact that they had a lot of the work in progress stuff. The stuff that shows their actual process. And their thoughts behind some of these pieces that we end up loving but only see the final color piece for. So yeah, what little time I did spend with him, like you said, it was incredibly nice to chat with. So
Well, here I'll blow up real quick because I want to. I leaned into the mic, so if y'all heard me sound loud for a second, I picked up a few pages from his drops that he had. I won't show a bunch of these, but this is oh good gosh,
I know, yeah, it's blocking the mic, but yeah, they look fantastic. So
yeah. The one on the left was his. This one, oh, wrong left, was his Captain America Super or Wonder Woman story that he had from the Batman Deadpool
Captain
page.
America, Wonder Woman story, yeah,
Yeah, and then this was the Ultimate Endgame page from with I love the Peter Parker
yeah.
Mary
Peter
Jane.
and MJ there, yeah, look really really. I love that drawing. So
So those were picked up from his drops, and since I knew he was coming to, oh, what did I just do? All right, since I knew he was coming to OAX, I hit the button twice and it blew my screen. It maximized my
oh,
screen. So I was like, "What the heck?" But since I knew they were coming, I messaged him and said, "Hey, if you just want me to pick them up there, so you don't have to ship them, I would love to." So, uh,
yeah,
yeah, it was great to meet him in person. And like I said, I would like to. And he even said, "Hey, if you get a second, because he had a long line. He had got to the show just a few minutes late from where he was still recovering and getting some rest. And he said, "Hey, if you get a second, stop back by so we can chat a little bit." And every time I walked by his booth, he had two or three people there. And I thought I don't want to take up somebody else's because he was doing sketches all weekend, so I didn't want to take up somebody
yeah.
else's time. So
No, I was
I
gonna say
guess
it was similar for me on Sunday because there was already people lining up like 15, 20 minutes before the sketching
oh yeah.
started. And then he was sketching already for a commission or something. I was like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. I was like, would you be okay signing this? And he was like, yeah, sure. And so I just want to get this. I'm not trying to cut in front of anybody or anything. I want to get them their time. So
Oh yeah, and then that's the same way I felt because whenever I picked up the pieces, there were a bunch of people behind me, and they were all talking about stuff they were wanting to get from him, and he had brought his own paper. They were asking if he had his own paper, so I thought I tried to make it as efficient as possible, and I got my art, thanked him, and then I messaged him later on, thanking him for his time and apologizing for not circling back, but I told him I'd catch him hopefully next year.
yeah, no, for
But
sure.
Now this was a cool. This was thankfully
Yeah.
Seth, aka Sonic the Hedgehog. Uh, he had a. I have a blue shirt on, so I'm not joking about the shirt. But
Yeah.
he had a blue shirt on, and he was a blur. Like as soon as the door opened, we had lined up about an hour. As soon as they let us line up, we had lined up about an hour before the show started. So we were roughly, Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, about 15 people deep
Yeah,
in our
it
spot.
was
We were the first
quite a
wrap around.
quite a line already, like within like the first 10 under 10 minutes kind of a deal. So I mean it was
Yeah.
capped within the first 5, I
Oh
imagine.
no,
So
I'm talking about the waiting room before us before the
oh,
show opened
sorry.
at 9 o'clock. That's like
Yeah,
we were.
I think we were about like 20 or so. Like we were like
20.
the second row because they kind of wrapped it in a snake like fashion.
That's right.
Um,
That's right. And then there was a few people, and they had like 7 or 8 seats there, and then there was another good 7 or 8 people on the wall, plus the people that wrapped around. So yeah, we were roughly 20. So as soon as the door opened, and one thing I loved about OAX, and I'll say this many times, is right at 10 o'clock the doors open.
yeah,
There was
no,
no
no
hesitation.
waiting or
But we started walking, and Seth can only do something. And if there was professional walkers, the ones that walk speed walk and can't lift one,
yeah.
both feet at the same time, that's what he was doing. And we were trying to catch
The
up with
amount of
him.
friction, Seth caused, I'm sure
Yeah,
alone was,
his corduroys were going crazy. But anyway, we got in line, and I wanted to kiss his head because it was like, had he not did that, we probably would have not have got a sketch. We
yeah,
we were third in line for. He was second. I was third. Another one of our buddies from Skottie Young Appreciation Group was fourth. I don't know who the gentleman was at first, but he must have flew there. He must have had like a hoverboard or something. But they said, we're doing 6 30 minutes, 3 15 minutes, and the look at the people that were like 10 plus on. And I remember one guy said, "Is everybody getting a sketch?" He's like, "There's no reason for me to even stand here in line if everybody's getting one." And it's kind of like keep your eyes straight, don't make eye contact with anybody.
yeah.
But yeah,
No, exactly. Yeah,
we got our slots. Seth
yeah,
got a Lobo, which was incredible. Make sure to look up Seth's
yes,
drop,
yeah.
his
Such a great
page.
piece.
And Dave, these are 30-minute sketches. Uh, Seth did his right before lunch. I got my slot right after lunch, and he was drawing. He pencils it out real light, real quick, and then starts inking it, and then he does like the heavy inks on it.
Yeah.
And when he found out Tyler was a video game, he worked in the video
Well,
game industry. His eyes lit up. He was
yeah. Well, it was funny because it was like, because again, I don't want to detract from, especially when it's like, you get 30 minutes kind of a deal, and then they're trying, keep Finch on time so that everybody gets, their allotted, their slot, their allotted time. And so, I don't know how it came up. It was like talking about Joe Madden Darksiders, and then David Finch was like, I was so bummed when Joe Mad went to video games, and I was like,
oh
oh, I'm
yeah.
a developer, so like I loved it. And he was like, oh really? And then we just like the next 20, or not 20, but I was like, 10 to 15 minutes. It was like just chatting about just the industry, and again, I'm learning the fact that Finch at one point also worked in the game industry, which I think is so interesting that there's so many artists, comic book artists I know that have either worked in the industry, started there, or worked there at one point in their lives. So at a certain point I was like, all right, hold back, Tyler. I would love to talk more, but I was like, I wanted to focus on Dustin's piece, and also it was just incredible watching him, do this live. I mean, you and I just stood there and just watched him. I mean, just
It's
applying
incredible.
this stuff, and yeah, I mean, he just absolutely crushes it. So
But I had watched him do Seth's Lobo because, like I said, Seth was
true,
right in front of
yeah.
me,
You guys did,
and I knew that he was like he. David does not play by the times that were allowed. He was going kind of loosey goosey with it. So, and, Jason, bless his heart, he tried to, he's trying to keep him ranked because there's other people. There's so many slots
yeah,
that he's filled, and he like came over to Dave at one point, and he's like 1 minute, and Dave said, oh, I'm done. And the axe was just penciled at that point. There was
yeah. It
like
was just
no,
just white, yeah.
and then as soon as Jason walked away, Dave like had this kind of a half grin. He's like, "I'm not really done." He was like, "It was," and he said the reason that he enjoys keep on going on. He's like, "Because I just love to draw. This
Yeah,
is what I love to do." So, and everybody, I saw the guy because the guy that had the Wolverine was lined up there at the time, and it bumped into probably about 5 minutes of his time. But I saw his Wolverine, and it was incredible too. I mean, Dave,
yeah.
I knew that he was going to do the same thing. He was not going to let any sketch go out there that was just penciled and didn't have the ink the full effect on it. So yeah, it was a really incredible experience, and I highly recommend anybody that if it's like I'm promoting Dave, like the
Yeah.
fences need help. But anybody that doesn't know about Monday Night Draw, that him and Meredith do, that he is so good about stopping and drawing and teaching, and when somebody asks an art technique question, so well worth checking out. And him and
Yeah.
Meredith have really fun banter. They're great together.
No,
So
I definitely need to. Again, there are people whose names are familiar to me, but I'm just not as familiar with their work or their history and stuff. And that was new to me hearing that. And he had his art book there that was
yes.
from those sessions, his sketches and stuff. And yeah, I definitely plan on doing that. It was good to hear him talk about that. Like he's hoping that they can get back to that as well and bring it back and do. It's difficult obviously with time and stuff, but he just enjoys it so much. So
Oh, it's incredible. And he did early January, I think it was, that he did some Invincible pieces. And I
mm,
thought of you, so that if I would recommend checking
yeah.
those out. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Chick-fil-A cow was hilarious. So
Well,
that was a fun piece.
I went back and watched the comic, the comic art fans live show whenever they had Essential Sequential on there, and they were like
Yes.
naming Art Adams to different tiers, and Art had he wasn't able to make it. He was the only one that wasn't. But when they got to Dave and they started naming his tiers, and they got to the one tier, and they're like, "Would you do the chicken cow?" Or that, and then I thought, oh, this is the Chick-fil-A one. This is the one that they were talking
Yeah.
about. And Dave's
Yeah.
like, it sounds like fun. I'll give it a shot. And he did a
So I was
great
like
job on it.
Jamie, yeah, because Jamie also had his commission that he did at the Chick-fil-A cow.
He
So
did. He did.
yeah,
But
super fun to see it not once, but yeah, twice.
all right, this was another
Oh
fun
yeah.
double commission from Eric Canetti. Uh, this was right around the time when Absolute Batman was going to be coming out with it for his issue multiple issue run on it, and I had first had commissioned the Poison Ivy, and then I thought I'm going to do ask for a Batman too and see if he can put them on the same board, thinking they would both be on like a 9x12 board together, and when I got there and I saw they were two different pieces boards, I was like, "Oh, holy cow! This is a lot more than what I thought he was going to do." So in a
No,
good way.
he filled the pages with both characters and you had pointed out what's so cool is they're not taped together or anything, but the fact that they
No, no,
actually cross over, her hair going into his panel and Batman's cape going into hers is it's just such a cool duo piece. So
yeah, and it was. I think on the comment too, he said this. He posted this on. He said this may be the first absolute Batman commission someone had asked to do, and of course it was paired with Poison Ivy. So he said
yeah.
a ton of fun to render. But yeah, I mean, I knew he had the experience with it based upon the issues that he was doing. So I knew he'd kill it, and he absolutely did. Very,
No,
very.
these were I loved his take. So
And then these were
mm,
much like Tyler. I grabbed two maxi commissions just because I saw the work he was doing on the auction piece. So I'd ask him to do the Absolute Batman issue one, do a homage to that as if Batman was battle damaged. So you can see like the axe has been ripped off his chest. There's different daggers and things in his back. There's rips and tears in the suit. And then he had did one, and we'll bring both of these up when Maxie comes on in a couple of weeks. But
yeah.
he had also did a mashup of Erica Slaughter and Ramona Flowers, which is not an easy thing to do because those two characters are from completely different
Yeah,
worlds.
quite a mashup. So
So I figured I wanted to get both of them, so I thought I'll just put them on the same board. But yeah, Maxie, such I mean, the infectious grin. Look at that grin from him. Don't look at. And I had forgot also. Not only did I forget how to take pictures, I forgot how to pose for a picture too. I just looked. So, none are worse than the one that's coming up, I think, on the next slide. But these are two more pieces. Kubert,
yeah.
Adam Kubert, the Wolverine. This is the Wolverine torso. I'll get to the other one in a second. But he had before the show. I think it was during. I keep saying Calf Live, but I want to make sure. I think I'm saying that incorrectly. Their online virtual con that they have. He had appeared on one of the Comic Art Fans shows and had opened up his commission list, and he had opened up for I forget the exact size. I think it was like 8x5, 10x5, or 10x7 or something, and it was torsos. And when I saw
Mhm.
this and saw that it was more than a torso, I was giddy. And I got to finish watching him apply the whites to it when he like flicks the white paint pen on it, which is really cool.
That's
So
always fun. Yeah.
so
And
very
I mean,
happy.
and fun too, like you said. I mean, when they do more, it's because they enjoyed it. Like they were like, oh, I'm, gonna put a bit more into it just because they want to, kind of a deal. So
Yeah, and I wasn't, with I think he had said, kind of ask, for characters that he may be more familiar with, if I'm remembering correctly. So, I wasn't going to ask for something just out of left field for him. Normally all of us love to do like Gert from I Hate Fairyland or
Yeah.
something. I wasn't going to ask Kubert to do a Gert from I Hate Fairyland as
Yeah.
much as I'd
No,
love
when
to see his edition, but it's just
Yeah,
probably,
no, and like you said, I mean, it's a good point too, because like I would love to get a piece from Finch, but if I did, I would kind of do it more in line with what he's strongest with, or the characters that he enjoys drawing.
yeah, no,
Because
no
again, it's
doubt.
just kind of like a respectful thing, or it's also just again, also the piece you get back will be stronger for that. So
Oh yeah, I agree 100% because there is one thing when some artists love to go down that path, and that's what I'm fixing to get to with our friend Pizza over here. But you kind of got to pick and choose which artists are going to have
yeah,
fun with it, and which artists are going to consider it more of a nuisance, and just be like, I got to do research on a character now in the middle of my busy schedule. But Chris Uminga, whenever I asked him to do this piece, he does great monsters. He does, like we said, the Disney stuff, and the Skottie monster or Franken Scotty from the latest run, the 3 issue run that Derek is doing, the arc that he's doing.
yeah.
I thought, I believe Chris would have a lot of fun with that, and hopefully he did. And he asked what the character's name was. I forgot. Oh, it's Pizza. It's Pizza. That's
Yeah,
what they had named it in the book. But
it
yeah,
definitely looks like you did. Yeah, such a fun piece.
yeah, and I couldn't been more pleased with it. It was everything I thought it would be, and I thought, given that request to the wrong person, it may not have came out too well. But
Yeah,
whenever I knew I didn't have any doubts with Chris. He did a great job with it.
no, 100%.
All right, these are 2 pieces. Oh, these are 3 pieces. I forgot. Yeah, this is the one. Tyler, I think, took this picture of me, and I look like I'm about to eat somebody. Like well, that's Clayman. It was a page I picked up from Felix, a absolute Batman page from Clay's run that he had did, and it's the Batman that has like the arm ripped off in the middle panel there. It's hard to see, and then I've got a Olivetti page on the right and a Gerardo page on the left. There's Zafino,
Those are
and
both, yeah, so good.
but you know why I like the Zafino page so much. I told
'Cause
you this before, but this was
I think, yeah.
yeah,
So I
the
can see
screen
it there.
screen. Those are the screen tones. There's zip
The
tones.
zip tones, screen tones. Yeah,
Whatever you call them, they're what I
it
love.
really does bring out the piece. Olivetti is who I kept seeing too. He's one who I think I would be interested in. I mean, honestly, I would Zafino and both of them would be. I mean, just again, I love the different takes on Batman, just the grungier look
Oh
to
yeah,
Zafino's, but then Olivetti is again just the rendering of the muscle and the I mean veins, like it's just crazy. So
yeah, and
yeah,
and
I mean
I
all really great pieces.
there was a piece I saw on one of the art dealers' websites, maybe 5, 10 years ago. It was a long time ago, and it was like a Hulk piece that he had did, and
Yeah,
you can imagine just so I thought if I ever get a character from him, I want to be someone that's really bulky because he
yeah.
does such a great job,
He does
and yeah.
those big hulking bodies well. So
Yeah, maybe I'll get him to do me at the next show and just put put those same effects on me with my same
there you
head.
go. But
So,
it's like you got to get the flannel in there too.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, just the
yeah,
press, the muscle press.
yeah.
I'm actually posing here; nobody can see me. But anyway, so next time, and he
Next
would do an
time,
amazing
yeah.
job. He would do an amazing job with it, I'm sure.
No, 100%. Yeah,
All right, and of course, I had to get my Fairyland fix for not Chris's piece was awesome, but I had to get my Gert fix as well. And this was a Mateo prelim, and thankfully Seth had messaged me as I was heading home on Sunday, and said, "Hey, did you not?" Because Mateo, correct me if I'm wrong, but he had like 10 binders there of art. It was so
Mateo
great.
had a massive amount of
I
art,
saw
like
there.
so much variety of just pages from Nemesis, Black Science, prelim sketches, like covers. I mean, he had
Incredible,
the gamut,
incredible.
and he was saying, that sequential art. Again, they do such a great job. Jason, right, who does such a great job
Yes.
of bringing all of his artwork to the conventions for him. Again, just because being overseas and stuff, but. And again, there's so many reasonably priced pieces too, from these prelims to even pages. So yeah, I didn't spend near as much time as I wanted to going through his books. I really wanted to go through more of it, And it's
Oh
funny
yeah,
because
me
I mean,
too.
I missed these prelim pages on Saturday, and Seth almost did too. And then, like you said, thankfully Seth went back and looked and was like, "Yo, these are." Did you not guys not know that this is in here? And it was like, no, not at all. But it was like, now that we do, we definitely have to grab one. So
Yeah, and the original art was in there for issue 50. Like he had
yes,
that.
yeah,
I don't think it
hmm,
was priced yet, but these
yeah.
were. If I believe I'd seen five, there may have been another one. That's the number we're trying to debate if it's five or six. But I think it was five that Seth actually sent pictures of that
I
he
was gonna
had in
say
there.
on the next slide we'll get to with the others they have the prices, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
it ranged from like 300 to like
Oh no, no,
500.
I'm talking
So
about the actual art, the non
oh
prelim, the one that when it became the cover, the issue 50
oh the
cover.
actual color, yeah. I think it was around like five or so. I think so.
Yeah, so I mean, so the prelims, and he does such tight prelims that
Thank you,
they were
Keith.
will. All right, have a great night, Keith. Thank you for stopping by, bud. Yeah, I was so glad he did, and of course, me being on the road, I was like, all right, whichever ones you all don't want, and they're all great. And I
Yeah.
was like, I'd like this one, but if one of y'all, I'm not there, so you all get priority. But thankfully, this one fell to me, and I'm very grateful for that. And the one on the right, Mannix, if
Yeah.
I've heard so much great stuff about his art, and I've seen some pieces of his before, and he does a lot of X-Men in the same style, and just incredible artist, such a nice guy too. And I had commissioned this whenever his opportunity opened up for a Gert for My Hate Fairyland. I will say that it was not completely done. He still had to lay a little bit of the inks on it. But Tyler is nice enough to be there and mail them. And Tyler, I got an email just like a few minutes ago saying that they'll be here, like tomorrow. So, and I think
Oh, really?
yeah, your shipping is like the fastest shipping of anybody I've ever seen. So,
It must
that,
just be an Orlando thing. Yeah, the UPS store that's here is pretty good. Cause yeah, I shipped it out. Was it today? No, yesterday.
yeah, I think it's just yesterday. That was when you
Yeah,
said,
just
but 2
yesterday.
days is incredible.
Um, but yeah, I had gotten these pieces to ship, and Mannix was super nice. Like you said, we went to the people who we didn't think that we're going to possibly get the commission done in time for you for
Yeah.
Saturday to set me up for Sunday. Of like, all right, well, I'll be back for them Sunday, just so you're aware that I'm picking them up and that's okay. And Mannix was super nice and was showing me off. And funny enough, people were looking and were like, man, that's a great piece. Like, you must be really happy. And I was like, well, it's not my piece. I was like, I'm really happy with it. So I'm sure
Yeah,
Dustin will be.
absolutely.
Um, but yeah, he was super nice. And I totally forgot to tell you this too, and you'll get it. And again, I made the decision. I guess I realized I should have asked you. I assumed that you wanted it, but he had like a little note on the right, like the right middle of the page. It's hard to see. It's like a blue little
No,
note.
Roy G. Biv monster.
Yes,
I,
is that when he put? Yeah, so he
yeah,
said
yeah.
he was like, "Do you want me to erase that?" He's like, "Do you want me to leave?" And I was like, "Dustin normally likes,
I like that kind of
if
stuff.
that's
You
what you
made the right
put, then
call.
yeah, if that's what you
Yeah,
want, if that's what you put, then that's how you kind of want it." So I was like, no, I think he'll want it this way. Like leaving it is totally fine. I think he'll like that. Plus, I was like, if you don't, then you can erase it yourself, kind of a deal. But
no, no. Whenever because he had showed me an image of it before he put the inks on it, and that
yeah,
note was on there, and I thought that was so funny. I was like, all right, it's almost like he named the monster. Even
yeah,
though like so, Roy G. Biv, obviously the colors of the rainbow, but it's
yeah.
like that's such a great. That seems like a fairyland name too.
It's very fitting for a character that would be in the series for sure. So
So I think that's it for me. The last two pieces, and of course you're saying, oh, you came down for Adam Hughes, so you don't have a piece
yeah,
from him. It was not completed yet, but it's coming. So at a future Skottie talk, you will see the Adam Hughes piece. Plus, Chrissy Uminga, or Chrissy Zulu Uminga, I commissioned a piece from her as well, and it will be mailed out later on too. So that's my last two pieces.
I was gonna say I didn't call because again I don't want it to be like I'm dragging him through or Dunning, but Jonathan Wayshak was who was gonna be my fourth piece, and so again I'm really excited to see. I'm
Oh
happy
yeah,
that he was still, because especially again with Wayshak, you don't pay for your piece until you pick it up, so there was no transaction to kind of tie it. He didn't have to offer it still, but I was really appreciative that he did. And I'm really looking forward to that piece just because, again, even just getting that sketch and looking at his art there, I can only imagine what he'll get up to with the piece itself. And plus, it helped because then we were able to talk about the game further, which, funny enough, we talked video games as well, and I gave him some of my recommendations. And also, funny enough, he had heard of Hello Kitty like the day before or something because he's got a Steam Deck now. And I was like, oh, you definitely need to play that, I didn't obviously say that. I was like, no, 100%, you don't have to play that. But
Yeah, what's funny on the video that we showed earlier, I thought that's who you were still talking to, but I
I know, yeah,
forgot you
you
moved.
said
That's
Wei,
what I
yeah,
assumed it
yeah,
was Wei.
Mufru was
I
there,
couldn't
yeah,
see who it was at first, but yeah, Wei. But he also had the art for his 50 cover, his issue 50 cover of
yes,
I Hate Failing,
yeah.
and it was really cool. I don't know, we didn't take pictures. I forgot
Like I
to.
said, yeah,
I'm kicking
I'm glad
myself
that
for not.
Kezra was fine. You know, that's the biggest
Yeah,
compliment. But
yeah,
I
that's.
do wish, you know, some of that stuff because he had the cul-de-sac cover too that just was, again,
Oh
just
yeah.
phenomenal. Because his stuff, he works really big, and on like thick boards, so it's just really cool to see his stuff represented. So
Yeah, it was a really incredible experience, and John even said that he had planned on doing all these commissions, and his first of the year blew up. Like he got incredibly
yeah,
busy, which is good. For an artist that you like and support, you want good things to happen to them, especially when they said they're still going to do your commission, which is awesome. So I thought him having a take home commission is going to be even much more fun
well, and
with it.
yeah, because I mean, we talked with Jamie had like 17, Maxie had like 27 or something. He said like
Plus the
pre-show,
ones
like
that were added. Yeah,
plus
yeah,
the yeah
you're right.
plus the ones they were getting at the show itself. So yeah, I mean it was yeah a lot of work done before the shows and but
Hmm.
even during the shows as well. So but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
these were the other ones. These were the other prelims that were done. Man, I would have bought all of them if I could have. I
Yeah.
almost, the one I was going to go with was that car on the left there. That was the one I want. It was funny. Seth asked Mateo, and Seth was like, he was like, which one do you like the most? And Mateo was like, I really like the car one. He's like, not because it's the most expensive, but I like it, just the
Yeah.
idea of them in the car and the tires. Cause he said it, and it was cool too. Cause he was like, the idea, one of the reasons I like doing these prelim designs on a smaller sheet, it's like, again, if you can't afford the cover, then you can get something of almost color like quality.
Oh yeah.
Like you saw with your piece. I mean, that is, that
Yeah.
is the actual, what turned out to be the final cover. So it's like you kind of, in a sense, have the cover. You have the first sketch of it, the first idea of it. So yeah, I mean, the Jaws piece, I absolutely love that one as well. Again, we almost didn't even realize the Predator one was I Hate Fairyland, and he talked about that. He was like, Skottie and them loved that idea, but it wasn't really an homage issue. Was more, about Gert and stuff. And he said, like, plus, you even didn't recognize it was Gert, so maybe
Oh yeah.
a fun idea, and it made me want to, hopefully, some of the stuff I'm like, man, it'd be cool to see later down the road with another cover,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are, like I said, it was just super cool to see. I never seen somebody do prelim sketches at this size. Like, again, they're just so detailed. But he said he loves doing them because they're so freeing, in a sense that he's not locked into the final cover. It's just him sketching and being loose, and then then it's less of a yeah. The Jaws is phenomenal. Yeah, the Jaws was super
Really is.
great. So yeah, I'm hoping some of this stuff. I mean, they're great sequential art about putting stuff on the site. So maybe these would go up and maybe in a little bit, but obviously there's Heroes Con and Mega Con and all kinds of
Yeah.
cons coming up. So,
Oh yeah.
but as I preemptively, unfortunately, went to a little bit early, it is
Oh, is
giveaway
it?
time. And we hadn't also, I realized, talked about the giveaway earlier in the show. Normally we do like the banner thing, kind of signifying that we'll have a giveaway later. But that's totally fine. Totally cool, that we didn't do that. I did come up with the question because this
Oh,
just
okay.
shows
I was
how,
typing. I was typing private chat, but yeah, no,
yeah,
no, no.
this
I'm
just
glad you
shows
came up with the one.
this
Okay.
just shows how prepared we were, that I had forgotten. I did next week's giveaway because we're going to try something new that I think will be really fun, but I totally
Funsies.
blanked on tonight's. But it's hopefully one that people, I guess, unfortunately, people who are maybe late to the show might not be able to get. But
It's
the
gonna be so.
question,
It's gonna be so funny if it's the one I was gonna message you. Let's
it's
find out.
probably going to be the one you messaged me.
Okay.
The question is going to be the first person who can type the name brand of the bag that is heavily used at OAX that I referenced multiple times during the show, and that Kazra himself came in and helped remind me the name of the
Yep.
brand.
That
Yeah,
was
all
the
right, there we
question.
go.
That
Yeah,
was it.
yeah,
That was what I was gonna
yeah.
ask you. So I love
That's
it,
the question.
Jerry.
Jerry got it. Topo
Okay.
Design, but it's Topo's. Yeah, is who it is. So Jerry,
Yeah.
you have won this OAX poster. I was going to say, do you have it, or
I
were
do.
you going to?
This is not the because I was going to give this one away, and Seth said that he has a signed copy that he will donate
Yes.
to give away. So So
Yes,
thank you
a
very much.
signed copy of it. So,
Yes.
well, yeah, we'll show you because that's at least the actual,
So this will probably be given away on a future show.
I don't, I don't mess with consumerism like that. I just heard. Um, oh my god, you're gonna have to remind me. The artist,
Bella and her
Bella. Yes, I meant to
Rachel.
put that
Let me
with
make sure I say that.
the panel itself as well. Is that who it's signed by? Did we get who it's
Yes,
signed by?
yes,
Okay.
yes. That's yeah. Because Seth went over there and we met because we were looking at some of her art. She had the sexy Iron Man without the shirt on.
Oh yes, I
That's
did.
right.
I was.
Yeah,
I should. Man, I wish I would have taken a picture of that. It was.
yeah.
It was Iron Man, like just just in his tank top, and then like a helmet,
Little
kind
autograph.
of in the back. But I was like, okay. I was like, I dig this. I could put this on my wall and be happy. So.
And she had a lot of if I'm not mistaken, the Marvel card art stuff that was there.
Mm,
That was really. I mean, go to her page, check her out. Just incredible, and she was incredibly nice too. Whenever just talking to her, I'd missed her a few times about commissions, and unfortunately, her list was full by the time I got to her. But I was reading Britton's comment, but just a very sweet person. So hopefully she'll return to the show next year. I know.
yeah.
Britton got me all distracted talking about.
I know. Yeah. Really. Yeah.
Yes.
Looking. I mean, I would hope that most people who are there are going to be people who are returning, hopefully, and then again, adding to the fact. So
Yeah. All right. Time to
as
get.
always, our one of our favorite sections with the name itself, our favorite things of the week, where we go through and pick out one or two, maybe three things at most, kind of what we enjoyed this previous week. So I'll let Dustin kick it off here.
Yeah.
I'll hit the slide.
Yeah, normally I have a very silly thing, and I'll try to keep this real fast because we're already hitting 2 hour mark. But the reason our show got canceled last week, I had to call. My grandpa was very sick, and my grandpa is 84. And as you can see, this is back in 2004 when me and my wife got married. He was the best man at my wedding. Uh, he was. I was with him from the moment I was born. He was just one of those people that just such a loving person. He told stories about me that were Herculean, things that couldn't have happened. He swore that one week after I came home from the hospital that I was doing a push up, that I was pushing myself up. And when people said laughed at it, he got really mad and be like, "I'm serious." He was, and my wife has later told me that's not possible. Babies cannot push themselves up when they're 1 week old. And I said, "Tell that to Papa." He said it
He
happened,
said it. Yeah, I
but
trust him. Yeah.
he was diagnosed with cancer last year, and he did chemo, he did radiation, did everything you think. They gave him 3 to 4 months, which I didn't find out later till that was last May.
Mm,
He did that. They extended his life, but he came home a few weeks ago, and they told him he had about 3 or 4 months left if he did nothing else. He was tired. He was ready to stop fighting, so he left the hospital, told them all goodbye, and then came home to pass. Yeah, I was no regular baby. I'm still no regular baby, but I got a call. I was going to go come up there and see him before OAX anyway, but I got a call early Wednesday morning saying he was not doing well, and I wanted to make sure and be there as close as I could before he passed. So I drove. I left work Wednesday morning, drove to Ohio, north of Columbus, Ohio. I got to stay all night there. Got to sleep beside him on the couch in the hospital bed in the living room, and then at about 12:41 Eastern time, he passed. He took his last breath, opened his
yeah.
eyes, and took his last breath and passed. So it was. I got to. I just. It meant a lot to actually be there when he passed because, losing your best friend's rough, but losing him and the way it was. He was a fighter to the very end, but he was ready to go home. Good Christian man, loved him to death. He loved everybody around him, but we had to cancel the show. Things got moved around. That's why crazy. I calculated it uh, over the last since last Monday at 8:30. I've driven about 50 hours because
Yeah.
I went from uh,
It's
Glasgow,
crazy.
Bowling Green, Kentucky, where I was at work because I left straight from work to Columbus, Ohio. Went past Columbus, Ohio, down through oh my gosh, West Virginia, Virginia, Carolinas, Georgia, Florida,
Yep.
then went back from Florida to Kentucky, and then we had his funeral yesterday, which is why the show's on Thursday this week. Drove up Tuesday night back to Columbus, got or Cincinnati, got a hotel, drove the rest of the way for the funeral Wednesday, then drove home last night. So it's been a whirlwind of the weekend. That picture is where he had moved to over the last 3 years, his little lake community that they lived in with my son and daughter that's standing there in front of him. And one of the most fun parts was just going there and getting to. He had a little golf cart, and he would like to honk the horn and do all that. And we'd go there to the lake, and just that picture of him staring off into the distance of what comes next. I know he's no longer hurting, he's no longer suffering, and I told him before he passed, save me a seat. We'll be together again one day. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to. Yeah, it's such a tough thing. So yeah, and I will see. I wanted to put a picture. I'm glad you said that, Britt, and thank you so much. I ran out of time, but I wanted to put a picture of Seth and Tyler on this slide as well, because the first thing they did when I saw them at OAX is they gave me a hug, and it was one of those things where it's like, do I still go to OAX or not? Is it? And everybody around me and my family said, you need to go. You need to go. Unless the driving's going to be too much, you need to go and
Yeah.
just enjoy this weekend. And it was nice to get a hug from Seth and Tyler, and it kind of caught me off guard at first because I thought they were joking when Seth said,
Uh-oh. Losing audio there.
"I'm
Oh, I
back,
think he's
I'm
getting a
back."
call.
Yeah, I was getting a call, but they were true to the word. It was very nice. It was very nice and very therapeutic, and it was all the things that we've been talking about. The OAX recap was just what I needed to kind of take my distraction for a while, because the drive down to Florida, there was lots of tears. The drive back home, there was lots of tears. But in the meantime, we had lots of laughs, and I'll have something good to remember this rough time during. So thank you to those two guys. And this was when I got back from OAX. My wife took this picture. It was about 39 degrees. I went from 80 in Florida to 39 degrees in Kentucky. And my son ran out to the car as soon as I pulled. They were tracking me on my Find My Phone app,
Mhm.
and they saw me pull in, and he ran out and he hugged me for about 2 minutes out there in the cold. And
Aw.
I had drank way too much Diet Mountain Dew, so I was like, "All right, buddy, I gotta." I was like, "Let me run to the restroom," and then and so he was waiting for me outside the restroom door, and he gave me
Yeah.
another hug. So he was very very happy to see me back. So
Oh, that's awesome. Like you said, it's
oh
it's
oh,
one of those
I'm
things
sorry.
where no, you're fine.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I didn't mean to.
no, it's fine. Like you said, it's I'm glad you were still able to get down and like you said, I mean, it's such a tough thing, but it's good to have something that helps, kind of anchor, the bad with some good, and being able to like see us, like you said, and hang out and just kind of get lost at OAX and have that convention. So and it was great seeing y'all as well, and yeah, just getting to hang out like we've done the past to Heroes and stuff. So
Yeah, and one of the things I really dreaded about going back to work on Monday, because right after something like this happens, you get a ton of people asking you just
mm,
constantly, how are you doing, how are you? And I love the support I get from my friends and family. It's great, but to go to a place where nobody has any idea what I just went through,
yeah.
and to just be able to talk about mutual love of art and things like that, it was a nice breather, because there'll be plenty of time for the grief in the morning and all that, but it was a nice just to be able to put that note in my story of getting to hang out with you
Yeah.
two chuckleheads. So
No, 100%. So yeah, no, yeah, mine were my regular, kind of, especially with TV, watching lots of
yeah,
TV, watching movies. I stole this one from Dustin.
I know.
Normally Dustin makes his first, and then I kind of surprise him with mine later on and everything. But yeah, Paradise season 2 started back. I liked Paradise season 1. It wasn't my favorite show, but I enjoyed watching it with my sister-in-law, and again, kind of like the mystery and stuff they were setting up. I've got to say this. They dropped the first 3 episodes. The first 2 episodes of Paradise season 2 were leaps and bounds better than the entirety of season 1 of Paradise. Like, just the editing, the cinematography, the directing, the writing. Like, I felt like I was it felt like I went from like, and again, I don't mean this like in a I mean, I guess it kind of comes off offensive, but to jumping from something that doesn't have the budget of like a bigger TV series or the writing or something to like jumping like to The Last of Us or something HBO.
Yeah,
It felt like a totally different show with just its theming and how it just jumps right in. There's no recap, like you just get into it. And so I really liked it. I was like, oh wow, it totally caught me off guard. I was like, I was looking forward to watching it, but I was like, oh man, even Alexis was like, what is the show? And we were like, oh, it's season 2. She's like, when did you watch season 1? We're like, we watched it last year. She's like, this is good. I really like this. And she's not normally
Yeah.
one to like, she's very particular about what she watches. So she was like, we better watch that show tonight. Like, I was like, Paradise? She's like, yeah, we better watch. I was like, yeah, we're going to watch the 3rd episode. I was like, we'll watch that for sure. So, yeah, I'm super looking forward to this season. Again, the introduction of new actors. Of course, I'm blanking. Cheyenne Woodley, and then I'm blanking on his name in the middle there. But I'm looking forward to where the story goes this season. Looking forward to finding out more about just what's going on without giving anything away. But super fun, super looking forward to it. The other one I'm watching though is quite a bit different. I went back in time.
This one's got me off guard. I wasn't expecting.
Yeah,
I was expecting a Paradise type show, but this one's
I'm super, again, I love The Pit. I think it's awesome. I remember my mom watching ER when I was younger. My mom loved ER. And I remember like bits and pieces, like, I mean, I couldn't really tell you what's going on, but like, images that go in my head of this show. And so I was like, you know what? I want to take a look at ER and like, see if that's something I could watch, while I work or something. And it kind of feeds that Pit itch. And man, it does. It holds up to this day. Like there's some cheesiness to it and everything, but for a 90s TV show, like I love the theme. I love the theme, the intro, the song. I think they do a really great job again of they were longer episodes. They're about an hour a piece. So it's been fun to like go back and also to see, Noah Wiley back when he was kind of first starting out. Like this was his big break. To now see him on The Pit, as a seasooned, that Pit itch.
I know. Britt and I giggled at that one too. That was like,
I'm just getting it delayed. Is that what you were giggling at? So I think I'm a little bit behind. I think my internet.
No, I giggled when you said it. When you said it. So
but yeah, no. So it was super fun watching this. Like I said, I've been watching this one throughout the day, and it's like, oh man, I can't wait to see where these storylines go. I mean, there's so many seasons of that show that I could get into. Again, I know kind of like with a lot of shows, it kind of pans, off at the end there, but I'll ride the wave as it's going on.
So many career launchers for that show too. I mean,
well, it's crazy. That's the other crazy thing too, is like seeing actors and actresses, like you said, it's like, oh, that was their first, big break, or seeing ones who, and I feel bad, I don't know the actress's name, but she was in Mrs. Doubtfire as the agent who came to check in on him at his house, and he had to put on the cake mask, asking if she wants 1 lump or 2 lumps of sugar.
I forgot. Yeah, I can't.
But anyways, just seeing stuff like that. The guy who plays Luther in Mission Impossible movies, he was just in a recent episode, so it's fun to see. Again, I'm younger. I wasn't. I was just born around the time this show was going on, so it's. I'm sorry if I don't know.
We're scared
everybody, but I know. Yeah, our Megan. They're like, all right, we get it. You're the baby. So it's weird because there's like something popping. There's something behind ER. Oh yes, K-pop Demon Hunters. So we have
almost made it, folks. We almost made it.
Demon Hunters announcement. Arden Cho, voice of Rumi. She's coming to MegaCon. That's now 2 down and 1 to go to get Huntrix, to get the K-pop Demon Hunters themselves at MegaCon. I really hope they get Mira's voice actress. If they don't, I'll be upset, but I'll still get the 2 of them with the picture. But
you can't just get 2 though. This is wrong. You can't get 2.
I'm like, they know what they're doing. Like they know what the people want. Like, they're just teasing it leading up to MegaCon and getting people, buying tickets and everything. So me squealing 100%. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, it's happening. They're getting all of them. I'll be bringing my Saja Boys cutout. I'll be bringing all my pops. Like they'll be like, sir, you can't bring that stuff in to get a photo. I'll be like, no, you don't understand. Like I'm their #1 fan. Like I have to bring the stuff in there.
See, Tyler wearing like a fat suit in there that's got all this K-pop stuff hidden.
Yeah, they're like, what's that? Like a cloak, and like I just open it up, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, no, it's just all my K-pop stuff. Don't worry.
You pull a string and it all pops out. Now, what if they get these 2 voice actors and they get you like one of the singing actors or singing the voice?
I think that'd be cool too. I would honestly love to get. It'd be cool if they get all 6. I mean, I would be happy with both of them. Yeah,
you would be able to come to Heroes then. Yeah. You would not be able to come to you would blow all your money on these on the 6 of them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna keep this wave going as long as I possibly can. So if I can't talk about K-pop Demon Hunters, then I don't know. I don't really want to do this show anymore.
Yeah, this is the only way I get them to do it every week now. It's K-pop
Yeah.
talk. So
Yeah. So this is how I make it through the week. But
yeah.
the other funny thing about K-pop Demon Hunters, and I'm glad that you put in this next slide, was
Oh
that
yeah.
going back to OAX, was that Adam Hughes, your man, did a K-pop Demon Hunters piece as a commission for somebody. It was funny because I talked to you about this, is that when I went up to Allison and their booth to talk about your piece and whether or not it would get done, which it ended up didn't. They were like, we're going to be able to mail that out, and that's how we'll do that. But I brought up this piece, and I found out that Allison wasn't sold on this movie to begin with by the trailers and everything, but then ended up watching it and has bought, the CD. She has the music. She plays the music in the house. Like, she's got stuff. She's got merch for this movie, and she loves it. And she's trying to get Adam to watch the movie, especially because Adam hasn't watched it. So it's like, now he's getting a commission to draw all these characters. So I'm really hoping Adam watches it. And I really hope that he's secretly a K-pop Demon Hunters fan as well, because then you'll have no excuse to not be one yourself, because it's like Adam.
I'll have to.
It's like,
on it.
You're going to have to at that point. So
you're right. No lies detected.
Yeah.
This piece too, Aaron, Adam did the inks for the three ladies, and Allison applied the colors for it. So, and Adam has started, such a sweet guy. Adam has started to do 3 different tiers of like quick con sketches at shows, and he does his I think side profile that you've seen. And then he does like the 3/4 profile, and then he does something called a little extra. I'm assuming that this was a little extra for it because they're so good. And then Allison kind of tiers her coloring based upon that. But yeah, this was incredible. I think they put them up Friday night because the person that did this must have got the inks done on Friday night, because I didn't realize even who it was until I think Seth may have even been the one that first mentioned it, but. When I saw it fully colored, I thought we've got to include it, especially.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just because of our love of both of the people involved in this, the K-pop.
Exactly. Yeah.
Adam Hughes. So.
No, 100%. So now this was a pleasant surprise. I was like, man, I didn't expect to see a K-pop Demon Hunters piece, let alone from Adam Hughes of all people, and then also to find out that Allison was such a big fan as well. So
that's really cool.
No, super fun to see that. Oh, that's super awesome. Cool. Yeah. I love like seeing stuff like that. Again, just the people you didn't think that you'd be able to meet, at a convention is always super fun. So, and speaking of people you can meet at conventions, we have our Artist Alley section. So again, just repping our good buddies out there doing their thing. So again, tomorrow is the first big Whatnot show.
I forgot
with Brett
it's tomorrow.
Bean and Chris P. Tomorrow it's 7 p.m. Central Time. So again, you can scan that QR code. It'll bring up the Whatnot show. You can bookmark that and have it come up. So I'll be watching this for sure. I'm really curious to see what all they have listed for sale and the auctions and all that stuff. I'm sure it's going to be a lot for Brett. Even just giving away the one piece was like, oh man, like so to see how he'll fare tomorrow will be fun. So
I knew it was the 27th, but I'd forgot today was the 26th for some reason.
I know, yeah,
so
it was funny because
I had to look down. I
was doing that thing where like I didn't want to do it. Like this comes out, whatever, like a week ago or something. So I was like, I wanted to make sure, like, no, this is tomorrow, so we can kind of really amp this up. So
absolutely, and Chris has been on the show before, and Brett's been on the show. So these are two good buddies, and it just the good.
True, yeah, both. Yeah, I was gonna say sorry, I didn't want to leave out. Yeah, Chris was so nice, coming on with Mel and chatting with us. So yeah, two great people. So I'm really excited for them to kick things off on Whatnot with their dorkening. I guess we'll call it.
The adorkening. I like it. And you can click on, like Tyler said, that QR code. There's items up for pre-bid, including sketch covers that Brett has did before. So go ahead and get your bids in case you can't catch the show. And Whatnot will kind of do like eBay, will bid up to whatever amount you put in there for your maximum bid. So go ahead and get your bids in and try to win a cool sketch from Brett or a nice dork comic.
And share it too, because that stuff always helps too. When you share the show, share the link, it gets them more views and everything. So yeah, crossover to the dork side. Yeah, so many great puns and fun ways you can use that name. So. And then speaking of Chris, again, Mel is going to be at NostalgiaCon Salt Lake City, Utah, March 13th to the 14th, 2026. And then after that is Planet Comic Con. He's also appearing with Chris there, Kansas City, Missouri, March 27th through the 29th, 2026. And then also again with Mel, this is now we're about a week out. Friday,
right.
March 6th, next Friday will be the cutoff. I just realized this is covering the last one down there, but that's a sketch cover color.
Right.
300. But so these are still open. You can scan that code. It'll take you to thatboychrisp.com. Again, that's the website where you can get a commission for Mel. So again, now is a great time than ever. Again, he doesn't accept commissions all the time. So this is awesome that he's been, open so far and doing commissions and stuff. And again, as you saw, if you watched the show with Mel, his artwork is just phenomenal. Even just like the glimpses you get there are just phenomenal.
Incredible.
So,
if you haven't watched the show, go back and watch it. It's one.
Yeah.
Mel, I've said Mel's very inspirational, so it's worth watching. To fast forward through me and Tyler talking and listen to Mel. He's an incredible
exactly.
dude,
Yeah.
so.
No, 100%. Oh man,
I've already showed all of mine. I think. Do you got something new?
I've got a few things I can show.
You take over there.
So funny enough, so I was made aware that I hadn't received a package from Third Eye Comics that I ordered back, and it was supposed to come from last October. This was at OAX, because one of the things was a cover from Wayshack that I was like, where's that cover? And I was like, I haven't actually received that cover. And I reached out to them, and it had been marked completed, but hadn't been sent out, unfortunately. But thankfully, they still had my stuff, and they sent it out. So first up is this gorgeous exclusive cover that Wayshack did for Cul-de-sac. Again, I just love his crazy, just his details and everything. Just such an intense comic, such an intense cover. I love this one. I was going to get it signed by Wayshack, but that's fine. I got it after the fact. And then speaking of signed covers, I also had this Author Immortal signed, that the cover by Jorge Corona, which is signed down there, and then nice. Morgan Beam as well. And then I'm blanking on the other two. I'm assuming that's Barbary, and then I needed to double check who exactly were the others that signed this, but this was through Third Eye, so that was their kind of exclusive cover they were getting signed. So again, really cool comic, really cool cover. Yeah, 10 out of 10 sack, wonderful Britain. And then my other was package from Stupid Fresh Mess. So I got I ate Fairyland stuff, so I got my my next trade paperback, volume 9. And I got with my Inoki signed book plate. These are always fun. Again, this is one of my favorite series, so I have to add these to the collection. There's no way that I'm not going to do that. But my ultimate favorite, I Hate Fairyland, besides the oversized German editions, are these hardcover versions that they come out with. These are just gorgeous. Again, I love the gold foil look. I love the glossy image there of Gert in the middle. And again, one of the nicest.
It perfectly too. Whenever you were showing,
I know, that it's
foil,
it's hitting,
really
hitting
nice.
it's just so fancy looking. I love little Larry down there. This is always the same, this outer border. So the image changes, and they choose a different vibrant color for the book, which again, it's just crazy the color difference you can see in the room, how much this pops. But the nice thing about them is that their side I don't know what the graphics called, but just this layout does not change from book to book. This book has been going on for 10 years or so. And the fact that these all line up perfectly the way they do is such an impressive feat, because I've seen books that come out months within each other, like trade paperbacks, that are just completely different. And I don't understand why. It's just somebody else did it, or, printing errors or whatever it is. But these thankfully do not have that issue. So again, this is super cool. This collects Brett's work, the rest of his, final stuff. I also love that it has, has the other covers, the variant covers that are in it, which is really cool. And then even cool stuff in the back here where it has the scripts and it has the black and white images, which is really cool. The inks, which again is just, I love the script work. I love being able to see that difference. Or just see what Brett had to work with, and then what we ended up getting.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
Jerry
mean
said spine. He said
the
spine.
spine, yeah, the
Yeah.
spine. It's like I don't know if it's there's like a specific word for the spines, like branding or whatever it's called. But yeah, I mean, just great stuff, and it has Brett's final page, which I'm thankful enough to own the original art for this
I
page
forgot
here.
that.
So
That's a great
yeah,
page.
so it's just a cool little tie up for Brett and his run on the series. So and then of course, obviously the trade paperback, that's Derek's work going into
Right.
it. So
And
yeah.
I'm excited because the next one of those that comes out will be it'll have Jay's work in there as well, but it'll also be Derek's run on I Hate Fairyland. So looking forward to
Yes. Yeah,
volume 5 for that one.
for the hardcover. And then sorry, I forgot I totally had just the last two
No,
things
no,
where
no.
I had
Go for
posted
it. Go
these,
for it.
but Brett put up his threadless store where he put all of his dork stuff. And as I think it was Jerry who said he'd gotten his dork shirt earlier. I had ordered pins, so I was able to get his dork pins. I kind of do it
Yeah.
one at a time. So this was the Shield one. So these are the 2.25 inch. So I wanted to get the Shield on there because I just think that's super funny. And then the other one was this silly little face of Dork. Again, with the Shield as the background. Again, I just love these little. So these will be fun to rock at MegaCon when I go see Brett, whether it's on a bag or my shirt or something like that. So, but yeah.
Incredible. And the fast, I mean, Brett responded so quickly because there were so many people like clamoring for like T-shirts and pins
Yeah.
and stuff. So uh, pretty clever on his part to strike as soon as he could, just to get, because the more people that have those pins or have shirts out there that are walking around, it's just going to create more interest in Dork. So
Yeah. No, exactly. That's it's a talking point, which is what I wanted and be able to wear. Then it's like, what is that? And it's like, oh well, if you haven't
yeah,
heard Dork, go check out Dork. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, if you haven't heard about it, I mean, it's only getting a second printing for its second issue and
yeah.
stuff. So um yeah, cannot wait. So yeah, new covers that have been released or coming out. So Iron Man 2 released this week. I'll be picking it up. Again, these are the connecting covers, part of that series. Along with the second printing of Rogue One next week, the 1 in 25, the Virgin variant. So
Yeah, I love that cover. I went to my
yeah.
comic shop today, Chief Comics, and picked up. They had the Iron Man #2 there. I'd forgot it was coming out today with that.
Yeah,
So
I've got last week's and this upcoming weekend's pickups is what I've got to get since I wasn't able to go with OAX. And then March 11th, X-Men United #1. Again, I love that Professor Logan Snick 101. That's just
yeah,
so good. And of course, the build-up, Lobo #1 releases March 18th. Again, it's coming up quicker than we kind of realize. So super looking forward to this one. Again, the hype just continues to build. And again, just looking at Jorge's cover there is just enough to get me super jazzed about this series. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what they've been working on and what they've been building up to with this series. I know it's, again, a big one for Skottie and one he's been wanting to do. So super looking forward to seeing what comes of it.
oh yeah. And whenever Skottie was talking on Forbidden Play on that one podcast and saying that he didn't believe some of the stuff that they were able to do in the issue, that I think he said
Yeah.
Scott Snyder maybe were like, I can't believe that they're
Someone was
allowing
like,
you to
yeah, I was
do
like, I
this.
can't believe, they let you do that. Yeah, and they're
So
like, oh yeah, they just, they
gets
let
you even
us,
more excited.
Ooh, yes, and it's
Brendan's a great
Brent's, yeah,
point.
because I would realize that too with Dork on there. But yeah, March 11th is Usagi and Dork too. So yeah, it's going to be a
Yep.
busy day for comics in general. So
Save your
yeah,
pennies.
definitely the Usagi. I mean, obviously Dork too, but Usagi, that first issue, we're hoping that does well and is well received by Jared and
Exactly.
them. So yeah, I'm definitely hoping, we're definitely looking forward to the 11th here in 2 weeks. So, but also coming up, we have our guests that are appearing on the show. So again, this one was supposed to be, this week was supposed to be our guest Megan. That is now going to be next week. And that's also going to be on March 2nd. So that's not going to be on the Wednesday like we normally do. That's going to be that Monday. So a little bit earlier than normal. And then as Dustin had shared, or no, he hadn't shared yet, but
no, just for a small group.
2 prizes for that night are going to be the absolute Batman cover
Skottie
and then
cover.
the Skeletor print from Heroes Con. And
Yeah,
these are brought
exclusive.
Yeah, this is brought from Megan. So Megan is providing these via, Super Fresh Mess and them. So they were incredibly kind enough to offer these as up as giveaways. So
Yeah, and you are the first one to realize what the prize are. We haven't revealed this to any of the groups
yeah,
yet. So we're going to reveal this after the show because I want a huge turnout for Megan.
yes.
And
And
Absolute
Megan
Batman,
wants a huge turnout for
yeah,
Megan.
she
So
wants her record back. Megan held the
yeah,
record for most views for a very long time, and she whenever Brett came on and had a bunch of views, she took it personal. She's
yeah.
got to get it. No, no,
She's
we,
yeah,
we yeah we love having Megan on. We love the competitive nature. And speaking of competitive nature, she is on for our March Madness Skottie cover
yes,
competition that's about to take place, and it normally starts March 1st, and I apologize with everything that's going on in my life. It's been delayed, so it will kick off the next day, so March 3rd. So Megan will be on March 2nd with me and Tyler. She's bringing these two awesome prizes: an Absolute
yeah,
Batman one by Skottie, the Skeletor Con print exclusive. You can't buy this one anywhere.
no,
This was only available at the con. They will never sell it. They may have it at another con in the future, but who knows? It may never. The print runs very low on it. But she is choosing these two prizes for her appearance. Could not have picked better prizes. Could not have a better guest. We are looking forward to it, and it's all. We always have a lot of fun because there's 20 people that are involved in this. I kind of oversee it, including Tyler. Tyler gets competitive too. He wants to win. So I've got the trophy. The trophy is in for the tourney. I'll
there
I'll
we go.
I'll show you after the show, Tyler. I
Very
just now
cool.
remembered
Yeah,
that. So
looking forward to that. Yeah,
everybody turn in on Monday night at 7 p.m. and we'll have fun. We'll be loosey goosey. We'll let our hair down for what we can, and we'll have a lot of fun. Looking forward to
yeah.
that one.
No, it'll be a good show. It was super fun having her on for the first one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that show. And then after that, March 11th, hard to read there again, the formatting stuff. But Maxi Dallo, he'll be coming on again. Current artist for Lost Fantasy, his art, artist on the Kickstarter, Mad Dog Morgan, which that one was awesome. Again, I was notified of that via Derek Loffman, and again, that was his OAX auction piece, as what we've been showing for his stuff, and then again the pieces that we picked up. So again, incredibly nice. Very much looking forward to chatting with him and having him on the show and getting to discuss. His work and again, just, everything that he's been getting into and continuing to work on. So yeah, super looking forward to it. Yeah. And then after that, again, difficult to read. I love these mess ups when I get them last minute. March 25th, Jared Cullum and Zach Rosenberg, again, the creative team behind Usagi Yojimbo, Kaido 84 number 1. Is it Yojimbo? Okay, I didn't know if that was the J or the H. Usagi Yojimbo, Kaido 84 number 1. Such a mouthful as usual. Again, it was so cool to be able to flip through. They had their Ashcan preview, the Ashcan there, and I hadn't been able to pick it up. Seth was able to get some from some friends, but it was really cool to flip through and look at that artwork, especially some of the stuff they talked about, like in the back of the books that they're trying to do that they really liked.
Yes.
And I'll let them get more into when they're on the show. But again, we've had Jared on. Jared was incredibly kind and in his time and teaching us to kind of like with art and his process and everything. So looking forward to having Zach on as well. He was incredibly polite when we stopped by their booth and got to say hi. So definitely looking forward to being able to discuss also Usagi, because that'll be the week after that comes out, which will be really cool. Again, kind of like Dork to be able to.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the week after, and then
that was it.
It's conflicting, so
yeah,
2
that's
weeks
it. Two,
after. So
yeah, 2 weeks after.
I've been saying 1 week after for the whole
I know,
time.
yeah, it's like stuck in my head. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my fault. But these are two guys I wish we'd have got our picture with, just for the show.
Yes. Yeah.
And but we'll make sure to mention that to them when they come on, because they were both really cool to talk to, and I'm hoping they wear their matching jackets, their Usagi jackets, 84 jackets that Jared had on Saturday, his orange one, the members only.
He did,
jacket.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So oh man, first time
9-panel grid. So I came across their YouTube. Go check out their channel if you haven't. I've only recently started diving into their work and everything. Excellent podcasts. Again, they discuss everything comics as well. They've had great interviews. They've had Sean Crystal and other people on, and continuing to have more people on. So I love their name too, 9 Panel Grid, and their logo, just all their branding and everything is just like so spot on. Go check them out. Thank you so much for joining the channel tonight. I greatly
Absolutely.
appreciate that. So but yeah, it's right at the end. So yeah, it's getting to that point again. Here's 2026 potential fan meetup. Again, we did this last year. We're hoping to do this again. Heroes is coming up quicker than again we think it is, but it'll be here before we know it, kind of a deal. So
Yeah, when Megan comes on next week, I want to make sure and ask her if Buffalo Wild if we need to choose
yeah.
the
If
general
Skottie will
consensus that
still
we need
come
to
if it's Buffalo. I have a feeling Skottie was like, all right, this was cool the first time, but I don't want to go back
I
there.
think we got one and done. I think it
Yeah.
was a nice surprise, but if anybody's coming to this one expecting to see Skottie, you probably don't need to come to this one. Just come expecting to see me and Seth and Tyler, and if anybody else pops up, it'll just be
Yeah.
a cherry on top. But yeah, the Heroes 2026. It's the second weekend in June, so it'll be here before you know it. I've still got to get my tickets. Have not bought my tickets yet. We're actually, are we still doing the live cam from the Airbnb? Have we decided that we're
The joke when they were running the entire time, or just
yes,
like no, we're not
both,
gonna.
both,
We're not gonna
both.
no, yeah.
Bro,
Um,
we'll probably do a live show from the Airbnb,
yeah.
not the 24
We'll
hours.
probably
We're
we'll probably
stuck
do
on.
something similar. My mom won't be there to tell me to hold the art up higher so that people can
I've contacted
see
Debbie.
it.
Your mom's name's Debbie, right?
It is Debbie. Yeah.
I have contacted Debbie, and she's going to be our fourth at the Airbnb. So,
Yep.
so
She's our
we'll
new. Yeah, we're announcing her as our new
yeah.
member here. So yeah, goodness.
But she's got to be standing behind you. I tell you that I'll have a lot of great memories of Heroes 2025. But having your mom in the room with us when we did our live thing, she was such a sweet person. I've said that about 10 people tonight, but your mom, I really mean it about. And her, because it reminded me of having my mother with me and the little things where she's like, hold the picture up higher. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, she would definitely do that. She would definitely
Yeah.
do that. And she's such a
No,
trooper. She,
100%. Yeah, 100% mom through and through. So yeah, no, it was funny. I was unexpected guest that we had that night, but it was fun as we discussed. We showed
so
off our
much fun.
art and everything that we picked up so far. So
But it was nice because I've known Tyler now for about a year and a half now, going on 2 years here, and which is crazy that we've been doing this for 72 episodes, and we
yeah,
really just met at Heroes back in 2024. But it
yeah,
was nice to meet his mother and see the product of what she's raised and the fine young man that. Because Tyler, there's about 10 years age difference between us, and I picture him as my little brother, and like that. So that's the only way that I can say it for making me feel old whenever I
yeah.
hang around
I was gonna say
Tyler.
is that
But
yeah, is that like grandson like Brett got his kid
yeah,
called. So
yeah, no, I like hanging out with Tyler. He's a fun dude, and to see his mom and to see where that comes from, just it's like all
yeah.
right, I get it now, 100%. That's why Tyler is the way he is. So
Yeah,
uh,
my mom. Yeah, I contribute a lot to my mom and her crazy attitude, but also yeah, her talkative nature as well. Just like again, either of us can walk into a room, find somebody, and then like we'll have their whole life story in a
no
matter of
problem.
like 30 minutes, probably. So
Yeah, and I've told this story before, but we've got still a few people. We're fixing to sign off
yeah,
here in just a second. But yeah, whenever I first met Tyler, I had thought about trying to do something like this, and I thought I don't know. I have to do it with somebody because I don't want to do it by myself. And within 10 minutes of talking to Tyler at Heroes, I thought I'm going to ask him to do it. I'm going to ask him. I think I'm going to. I need to make sure he's interested. I'm going to ask him, and the rest is history, as the kids
yeah.
say. So
Yeah, now we like you said, 72 episodes. We interviewed Brett Bean, and yeah, exactly. Yeah, it makes sense. You'd be brothers since you're both our Brett's papa. Exactly.
that's
That was
right.
one thing
It's
we didn't get to bring up with Brett that I wish I had been able to bring up, but yeah, that was super funny.
oh yeah, I kind of yeah, I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad, I'll just say, I say a lot of stuff on here, and I say a lot of stuff just to see if I can make Tyler
Yeah,
laugh. That's one I don't know if Brett would have found it as funny as I did at the moment. So
I at least got to tell him about how Mel Milton might call him or refer to him as breast bean. So that was enough for
that
me. I was
works.
like,
That
yeah,
works.
but to see the look on his face. So
Papa Tyler and Papa Dustin. Yeah,
yeah.
it's yeah,
Oh
no.
goodness. We'll save it
That's
for
for
next
us.
time when Brett's hopefully back on. So
Yeah, hopefully he'll continue his annual tradition of popping in here. But I mean, who
yeah,
knows? Yeah, he might new phone who dis next time we call him. So anyway,
exactly. Yeah. Too big.
that's right. Good for him though. Good for him.
No, 100%. Well, if you want to be on Skottie Talk, you can either message myself or Dustin, and we will definitely try and make it happen. Again, we continue to get people who come on the show, whether they're artists in their respective fields or even fan collectors in the group itself we've had on before. So
Absolutely.
again, it's fun to just again talk about people who are passionate, whether it's their passions collecting or drawing or writing or coloring or anything like that. So again, yeah, we'd love to have you on.
Yep, absolutely. And we've got two that we've already announced, and hopefully you all will come in and
Yep.
support Maxie and Jared and Zach. Two shows, and plus Megan, Megan, which not an artist but a very important person in all of our lives that we're
Yeah.
really looking forward to. But there's also ones that are there's cooking in the background. There's a little bit of cooking being done. So we're not going to drop any names, but I'm very excited for what's coming over the next three to
Where
six
yeah, we've been
months.
working on it. There's something especially that I won't like again, I
No,
like you said, I'll only hint to, but something that came out of OAX that I was not prepared for. Um, that yeah that we started working on that I was like that's just again it just wasn't what I was expecting to get to kind of this weekend. So again we're a small show. We ask people, and if they respond, then that's great. And then sometimes other stuff comes up, opportunities. So again, like you said, there's stuff that we're hoping we can get to, people we can talk to and everything. But yeah, looking forward to in the rest of this year. So
yeah, and I really hope it happens before me and Tyler have our big feud and part ways and have the behind the stories where,
yeah.
like all this moment will be where we're laughing and we'll all of a sudden fade to black and white, and it'll be like we'll freeze frame and be like, ah,
Yeah, it's sad music, and it's like that's the
yeah,
day the music died.
that's
So
when the women and the drugs came in and they
yeah,
stopped. But
no,
no, no, no, we're no feuds, no feud, no Frank Miller, yeah, not quite. But also too, one thing I will say before I sign off and let you close out however you want to is that, really looking forward to having Derek Loffman back on in
yes,
the future. So he's in
yeah,
our hearts. And we can't wait to have him back on and y'all to see his smiling face again. So just
yeah,
Derek hadn't forgot, about we're not forgetting about Derek either. We're just hopefully in the future we can get Derek back on and be a happy day. We'll be a big celebratory day to have him back on, just to have
yeah.
our buddy back with us. But yeah, we hadn't forgot
No,
about him.
like you said, there's you never know what's going on in somebody's life, and again, that
No.
kind of points out, same with Eric Canetti, having to, they're on their Ink Pulp tour, and him having to step out for a period of time just because again, personal family stuff that comes up. So again, it's things unfortunately happen. Same with us having to kind of move around the show, which is why we're on a Thursday night here this week. But again, we try to stay consistent when we can, and barring that. But like you said, yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully we'll have Derek back on. Somebody who I wouldn't have thought we would have on more than one time, let alone one time. So to have him kind of be friendly with us is just something that's still, just kind of, uh, you know, baffles me. So
Yeah, yeah, and I guess one of the yeah, you saw Britton's
oh
comments.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
yeah.
yeah. So
So
I will bring it because that's one thing I didn't bring up early in the show. It's the funniest thing because I left Miller's the bar after the show at like around like 1:30 in the morning was when I finally headed out. And on my way out, I got stopped by a waitress who said, "My friend thinks you're really cute, wants you to have her number," and hands me a napkin. And it's like something you see in like a TV show or something. I
oh
was just like, "Oh wow!" I was like, "Thank you." Like not really knowing how to respond. I'm married. I've been married for
yeah, yeah,
8 years now plus. So it's like, oh wow, it's like, well, thank you, I appreciate that. Just taking it. I was like, man, that happens in movies. That doesn't happen in real life. So I was like, but again, it was like kind of like, all right, cool. All right, it's a good boost to my morale. So
yeah. I,
um
I would just assume that they were going to dump a bucket of pig blood on me if I got something like that. So they're all
yeah,
going to laugh at
where's
you.
the hidden camera? Where's the
Yes.
yeah, so
No, that's that. You told me that. And I meant to talk more about that, but I didn't know if you were going to mention it live on the air.
I'm gonna say
But
I
yeah, that
honestly
was
I totally forgot. I mean, I there could be a whole show on Miller's and again, I mean,
yeah.
it's
That's an
just
after
cool that
party.
they allowed because again, they had the open bar and food, but then they still had drink tickets at Miller's to where a lot of people ended up there. And I chatted with Jamie and Matt and his friends, and then random people I didn't even know. And again, it was just just a blast to be able to just again converse with people who just wanted to keep the conversation going. But I saw, and then again, that's where I saw Jamie for the first time, the editor
Oh
for
yeah,
all of Ink Pulp's videos. So
very cool.
again, he was like, "Oh, I know Skottie Talk," and I was like, "No, you don't. What do you
No,
mean
you
you know
don't. Come
Skottie
on,
Talk?"
don't lie to me. Don't lie to me.
Um,
You know Scotty, and you know Scotty
yeah,
talk. So,
exactly. So
so
it's like those two words separately. But yeah, I definitely would
yeah.
have loved to have just continued to chat more. So that's something again I look forward to going back to OAX, as well as just again that being able to walk over there and chat more with people. So
Oh yeah. That was one of the perks of it. Just and the time they had Jamie, but Jamie did say he said I look forward to the show because I'll be able to walk around with you guys and chat and talk. And he did not leave his table the whole show. He was so busy. So
yes, yeah, Jamie
which is
Jones,
good.
yeah, he was
Good.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
he's
other
like, man,
Jamie.
that was a lot busier than I thought it would be. Which again, we were like, man, that's great. And
Yeah, he
we're
made
we're
up for
happy
it.
for you. So
He
yeah,
made up for it during
so
the auction.
yeah,
We got to chat quite a bit. So
no, he did. Yeah, he's again, like you said, another good buddy of ours. So
yeah. Well, that's all I got.
well,
I'm gonna shut up now.
yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, yeah, thank you everybody who came in again. Kazra being in here, 9-panel grid coming in again. And then everybody, Brenton and Jerry and Shane and everybody who watches the show regularly. We greatly appreciate it. We appreciate you, holding with us as we moved things
Ryan.
around and didn't have a show, and then had our shows change up. And again, next week's will be again Monday, not Wednesday. So tune in then for Megan and the brackets and everything. But until then, as we like to say on the show, stay fresh, live messy, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
See you.